Now, Sir Ivan, if you will press this switch over when I say now, that will open our station. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Thank you very much.
So hi all, welcome to today's show. So today's show I have titled No You Can't Have a McDonald's, and that is reference to a story which at the time was very far from funny, but now that the day has passed I think it's absolutely hilarious. So I have an apology to make, but before I make the apology I'll do my usual disclaimer. So this is a 2+ hour live show. So during that time, I'm going to be doing things that I'm going to need to do, like smoke, for example. I'm going to drink. I'm just drinking soft drinks today, but we had a takeaway today. We had a pizza. So a bottle of sweet fruit flavored liquid was delivered with the order today. But I'm being rather good. It's a low sugar version. Also, my language is going to be unfiltered, and it may well be extremely strong today, depending on the mood that I'm in. So the apology that I need to make, a couple of days ago, my customs arrived, by the way. I've been talking about my new custom, which is that. It's arrived. I had a little bit of insomnia the other day, so I completed a little bit more of the diamond paint I've been doing on stream. And then I came home this morning in a really, really bad mood. I had a really, really bad shift, and I just needed to chill and relax. So I have finished the diamond painting, which means that we can do the kitting up on the new one today. It is all right. It's fine. I mean, when you think I only paid £2.99 for it, it's a little bit small for the design. Let me change my camera and then you can actually sit and stare at it and criticize it or whatever you want to do. So there it is in its little bit of glory. It's all right. It cost me £2.99. As a budget one, it's all right. I think it needs to be larger. If you're looking at that and going, oh, that's pretty good, I think you're going to absolutely love my custom. My custom is so much better. But the custom is a better quality products, and it's bigger. The thing you find is the larger the design, the more detail they can put in. And this is very large. This is 40 by 30. My customers are 60 by 60. So let me do a quick switch to the camera. So it's a really bad camera shot, but this diamond painting is actually sitting on top of the custom, and a lot of it is actually hanging off the edge of the table. So, God, my desk is terrible there, isn't it? So, also, let's pick a time, shall we? We need to do a giveaway I've got some freebies to give away. I've done I found a website that does a random YouTube picker, and I've done a little rehearsal, so everything works fine. So if you need to, I put the link in the comments. If you haven't left a comment on last Tuesday's show, you need to do that, let's say, in another 55 minutes. Let's do the draw at 11 o'clock UK time. So basically what you need to do is leave a comment on Tuesday's show, and then I will be giving away a semi-random selection of goods from Smith's Beads, who is today's sponsor. Thank you very much. And that will be winging it to you if I pick your comment. So let's have a little play with my new custom. So this is it so far. I have done a little bit of prep work. As you can see, this is double-sided tape. If you remember the last one I was doing, that's poured glue, and it had this clear film over the top. So what I found I needed to do was remove that clear film and put this this cover paper on. Well, I forget what it's called now. Sorry, my mind's gone. I'll be honest with you. I went back to bed about 8 o'clock, and I set my alarm. Sorry, 7 o'clock, and I set my alarm for 9 to get up an hour before the show. And I overslept, and I woke up about 9:30. So I'm not 100% with it. But yeah, so with the clear film, I replaced it with this. With double-sided tape, it comes with the paper. Now, what you might already be able to see is I've cut squares roughly to the size of what I think I can complete in a show. This corner is a much bigger square because you tend to get more of a single color. The squares in the middle are a bit smaller because it's a lot more confetti. And if I confuse you with words like confetti, don't worry about it. I'll bring the terminology up before, as and when I need it. So all I'm going to do is, as I work on this, I can just pull away one section and we can crack on with it. So you'll see this section there. You see there's a few colors there. That represents this top corner there. So you can see there's a few where we've blurred the building. Now this corner, absolutely wonderful. See if I can move the camera. As you can see, the majority of this is all the same color. All of that is practically the same. It's not until you get to about there that the new colors come in. So we'll see how I go with the random waffle over what corner I'll do, because I think this that corner is I'm going to be able to get through that quicker than that corner. I've kitted up as much as I can. There's 41 colors in this custom, and this beautiful little holder only holds 24. So obviously I've got some loose, and I've got another one. I'm actually ordering one of these, but it hasn't arrived yet. And as you can see, I've put in lots of greens. I've got lots and lots of greens. Teresa did say about greens, and she wasn't wrong. I don't think more than half of it is green actually, but there is a lot of green, and there's not actually a lot of black, which is not too bad. The amount of black on it is 5 bags in total. Now for a 60 by 60, that's not an awful lot of black. So these are the bags that I've not been able to kit up, and the reason I've not been able to kit all of them up is that these Tic Tacs will only hold 5 bags. Some of these colors are like 16, 20 bags. So what I'll do is I'll just top up the Tic Tac containers as and when I need them. So that saved an awful lot of background, what do you call it, prep work. But all I've done is I'll get any left over at the end of the kit. I will get I will keep them, and then when the next project comes along, yeah, if I get say 939, which you can see that's what this is, I'll do a color comparison, and if they're the same color, I'll just add them rather than get rid of these. Because the last time I used these, I was using cheap, nasty Chinese drills from a different company, from Smith Speeds. I've actually thrown away most of the ones that I already had because the color wasn't matching. So if I could show you a picture of my bin, you'll see it's mostly been raining drills. Right, so let's catch up on the comments first. So gold star today go to Love Minis, who says hi, so thank you. Then I made a post. Don't forget, in order to be in with a chance to win a box of goodies, leave a comment on last Tuesday's show, and I've given the link. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, that will actually show as a link. I think if you're watching on Facebook, you may have to copy and paste the link. Then we've said, Smith Speed says hi all. Love Mini says strong language. Now Then we got Mark Fitz says, hello all. Hello, Mark. How's your Titanic coming along? Then Love Mini says, cheers to Smith Speeds and wax paper. Yeah, so this release paper, it is basically wax paper on one side. Don't ever stick. Let's just pull up one of my little squares. I'm not going to do it. But what you'll find is that if you use the shiny side, it will stick very nicely and you can pull it away. If you stick it on the wrong side, which I'm not going to do, apparently it sticks really, really well. And talking of sticking really, really well, in a much future show, I don't know if I can get this on camera. I was checking the diamond painting and I dropped the instructions on the actual sticky side of the diamond painting, which is why the bottom of this is ripped. So I actually have some paper stuck to the bottom of this DP, but it's not a problem because we know how to get rid of that, which when the time comes, I will show you. Stuart Sullivan says, hello, Penny. And then Mark Fitz says, finished Titanic now on the Tiger, sent you a pic on Messenger. Right, now that reminds me, it's not really a problem, but I've upgraded my phone. I have a brand new mobile phone. I'm going to show you off. Look, I have the new Samsung Fold 4. And look at that beautiful lock page. I love that. It's all animated and it's purple and it's got wolves on it. So basically what had happened was I can still log into Facebook on my old phone, but I couldn't set Facebook up, and I kept asking for the password and it wasn't, and I spent about 2 hours trying to set the password up. So in the end, I gave up and I've started a new Facebook page. So I have tried to pick up a lot of the friends, but it's a slow old process, especially when you're working. If you are friends with me on Facebook as Penny Blake, you're now going to need to, I will find you eventually, but let me show you my new profile. So there is my new profile under the name of Penelope Blake. I don't know why I chose Penelope Blake, but it's pretty much essentially the same profile picture, but with same background with a different profile. And I have said, I've added quite a few friends, but I'm at least 100 friends missing. I don't do friends lightly. I think I had about 250 friends on the old profile. I've got 250 on this one. So I am catching up. So I do apologize about that. Right. So the giveaway we're going to do at 11 o'clock. So we'll give that 45 minutes. So let's have a look at this. I am raring to go. So I had a custom made up of my bus, my coach. And this is what came. And you can see I've got about a zillion bags. But I've checked all the bags. They're absolutely fine. Now I've got 3 issues. One which we already know about, which is at the bottom. There's a little bit of a scrape. Smith Speeds told me about that before it came. And that's absolutely fine. I can work around that. The second one, which is not Smith Speeds' fault. Now that I've got the... in fact, I'll probably show you the picture more than anything. Smith Speeds, they sent me the proof and I okayed the proof. Now, if you look down this bit, right, it doesn't look a major problem there. But you've got where the sky is coming in and you've got the reflection on the side of the coach. On the actual diamond painting, it looks like there's a big chunk of coach missing. So I might have to do a little bit of alteration on that. Maybe bring those pinks up a little bit. I'm not 100% happy, but it's not Smith Speed's fault. And then there was a third issue. Right, so the third issue I'm going to show you, and I have spoken to Smith Speeds about this. This is not a problem. This is absolutely normal. But where the canvas is sent in a tube and it's obviously bent over a bit, you get what we call rivers. Now, when I first opened this, the rivering on this was absolutely terrible. I say absolutely terrible. It was a lot higher than average. But what I found is now that I've rolled it out, I've pressed it down a bit, I've kept it flat. It's got rid of a lot of the rivers. So I really do want to start on this side first. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a good one in the corner there. There we go. Can you see that line coming down the corner? So what's happened is the double-sided sticky tape, where it's folded, it's lifted slightly off the canvas. Now, if we don't do anything about that, as we stick the drill cannon, you can't really see them. Yeah, you can't see them at all with the light pad on. I can't see them as well. There's a big one there. Tell you what, let's bring the camera right in. See if we can get them better with a closer view. It's actually really hard to see. But there's some big rivers there. There's a big one there, just along there. And it's just where the canvas has lifted a little, where the double-sided tape was lifted a bit. That doesn't help, does it? There we go. Can you see those rivers there? Now, I don't suspect many of you do this, but if you put vinyl on cars, this is a subject you know a lot about. So because that's lifted ever so slightly, there's an air pocket under there. If you put the drills on there, you're going to end up with the drills pop and they're going to lift off. The way we deal with that is actually really, really simple. And what you need is a knife with a really, really sharp blade. And what you do is you cut along the river. Don't cut through the canvas, obviously. Right, so you cut a line along the river. And then what I do is I'll cut a few lines across. Right, so a little bit like you're doing stitches in a hospital. And look, can you see how that river's just disappeared? Gone. That's how simple it is. So this is why I said it's not a problem. Now, I will be honest with you, this is the most rivering I've ever seen. But don't forget also that this was stuck in transit for a little bit longer than normal because of COVID. There was a lockdown or something in China. So it's been in transit a little bit longer than normal. But look, can you see how easy? It doesn't look great. It doesn't look shiny because I took the shininess off. But I can show you that there's no river there now. So that's all you need to do. And each time I do a new section, I'll just spend 2 or 3 minutes. All I've done is I've cut along the length of the fold, and then I've just cut a few lines going across. And then if you want to just give it a bit of a rub. And this is exactly the same thing you do with wraps on cars. If you put vinyl on something like the vinyl wrap, you might get the occasional bubble. And all you do is you pop a little hole or you cut a little line and then you squeeze it together and it gets rid of it, no problems. And even if you're not happy with the appearance of that anymore, it's not a problem because there's going to be drills put on the top. So yeah, it's really not a problem. I think Smith's Beads are more disappointed with this than I am. And I always say if the consumer's happy, that's all that really counts, isn't it? Whoops, sorry guys, my camera just fell off the mount. It's because I move it around too much. This particular camera, I lost the mount for it. So I've actually put a bolt into the camera and then I've wrapped the camera around, wrapped the bolt into the actual what do you call it, the grippy bit, and because it's a little bit smaller, I've had to put masking tape around it so to make it fatter. Right, shall we do a little bit of deep dead diamond painting today then? I've been absolutely desperate to do this. This is probably loads of messages coming through now from Facebook. It actually is. Oh, here we are. So Mark Fit has sent me a message. Oh, we were already friends, Mark. Sorry, I didn't realize that. You might not have sent. Hang on, sorry. Let me just respond to Stuart Sullivan. I think a lot of people were worried about when I had the new Facebook come through. There's so much hacking going on with Facebook. So obviously, when I legitimately make a new account, everyone's like, "Oh, has your account been hacked, Penny?" And I'm like, "No." Poor old Mike, he actually telephoned me saying, "Oh, I'm a bit worried. I think your account's been hacked." So this is the section I'm going to work on today. So I can tell from this little bit going across. I've got to be careful because I don't want to stick this to the. So that it's going to come down to about there. So that bit there is the top of the wing mirror, and it's going to go up to about there. So I think what we're going to work on today is about that much, which actually, if you look at where my thumb is, that's quite a sizable bit of the whole diamond painting. But where it's going to be easier, if you look at the colors, they come in these lines, and most of these are just going to be blocks of color, and then there's a little bit of confettiing going on there, but that's probably the hardest bit. The rest of this is just follow a line. So couple of terms I've mentioned today that some of you might have heard for the first time. The first one is rivering, which is these rivers here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut along, and you need to cut through the double-sided tape, but not all the way through the canvas. Doesn't matter if you cut into the canvas a little bit, so long as you don't cut all the way through. And it probably doesn't look important because you think, oh, I'll just put the drills on top. But because there's air in those little creases, it will lift up. So unfortunately, so I'm just going to flick between switching my light on and off because the light kind of hides the rivers a little bit. I mean, it won't actually hurt to cut through the whole thing, I suppose. I don't know what rivers I've done and which ones I haven't. So, oh, there you go. If I actually look down on top of it, everything's so much easier to see. But you do have to make sure you've got a really sharp knife. A lot of us modelers, sometimes we'll start the project off with a really sharp knife, and then it'll get blunt, and we're like, oh, that'll do. If you use a slightly blunt knife with scale models and miniatures and that, you're just making extra work for yourself. If you use a blunt knife doing this, it's not going to cut through properly. To be honest with you, most of these rivers are pushing down. Just by pushing them down, it's getting rid of them. So, I mean, I could give you a bit of a science lesson. It wouldn't be Professor Doc Diamond painting style lesson, but just, yeah, looking for anything that's raised a little bit. There you go. Just cut through them. So it looks a little bit messy, but by the time, as long as you can see the squares, it's all good. Right, so should we make a crack on? Should we do it that way? There we go. It's a bit of a cheat using a light pad because now you can. I was going to keep these squares hidden so you can't actually see it until I'm ready to pull off the paper. So it'll be a bit of a surprise, but with the light, it just shows through the. But now you can kind of see things in a bit more context. So what I'm going to be doing on this show then, as I'm doing this, I'll flick between putting the light pad on and the main light. And the reason for that is that I can't really see the squares too well with this light pad off. In fact, I think I'm going to have the light on as well. Yeah, I'm going to have the light on. I can't see these with the light pad switched off, but with the light switched on, I can't see the drills properly in the tray. Right, so let's start in the corner. Oh, this is something else. With the cheaper... So I just seen a comment. Out of interest, would you be able to remove the river by pricking it with a needle? I suggest yes. Probably could prick it with a needle in exactly the same way that like vehicle wrap companies do. The reason I use a knife is I have a knife handy because of the other projects I do. To do this with a needle, I would now have to buy a new piece of equipment, whereas what I'm doing here is I'm using something that I've already got. But yeah, needle will do the job, because what it is like, if you take two pieces of something, this is a bit of science coming in now. So let's say, for example, a book, right? If you fold pages to make a book, what will happen is as you squeeze them together, that this one now has a longer path to follow, because it's like that bit is longer than that bit. And then what happens with the book, obviously that, oh, we go, here's a really good example. So, right, so here's a load of pages I've put together. Because the further round you go, the higher the longer the distance. Can you see that at this end, they're not all straight and level? Focus. So, because these have started together, what's going to happen is as you bend them, because there's now a greater distance, you've now got a little air gap in the middle. But what's also happened is these end pieces here are still stuck to the canvas, so it's pulled it back on the canvas. So when it's then straightened, this won't push back, so you've got a tiny little gap there. So that's kind of the science, and that's the way that I've explained that. So here's a book I made with even more bits of paper. Can you see that's really exaggerated there, because I've put a lot of pieces of paper together. Now, when you push that back with paper, it'll all move back, because that end is actually stuck down. It's not able to push back. So yeah, so it just means that you've got to release that air. So if you imagine that's what it looks like. If you cut a hole, as the air squeezes out, but then don't fold it in half again, because you'll end up with another river. Yeah, so I can see where we've been spoilt with the cheap diamond paintings. With the cheap diamond paintings, the symbols go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D. With the customs, it don't go like that. So that you've got pretty much random symbols. So when you're looking for, say, R might be near the top. There we go. It's a little way down. And then this can sometimes throw you. This is quite important. I think it's quite important. So what we have here is we have the symbol R. We know it's color 535. Now you'll get these. No, I did this. I'll come to that in a minute. And then you've got, this is the quantity. So R is, this whole diamond paint is going to contain 4,663 drills of 535. And then you see there's a number 24. Now, Smith's Beads have used this as a checksum. So this is quite reassuring. So because it's all highlighted with green, that means that someone has actually counted each number of bags. So they've counted 24 bags. And then what I've done is when I've received them, I've then counted the bags. So I've counted 24 bags. So I put orange highlighter there. And then what I've also done is I've split them into, what have I split them into? Oh, bags. Oh, no, right. So these are split according to my containers. So bear with me one sec. I keep all my drills in, that's the worst one to use. Here we go. Right, so I keep all of my drills in one of these Tic Tac things. I've got 8 boxes of these. And you see this one, box number 2. It has 367 to 608. So 367 starts there and 608 is there. So it's just my way of separating, so ignore that. But yeah, so it is slightly more complicated to read than our cheap ones that we've been used to. But to be honest with you, the only figures that we really need to be looking at regularly on that is the first 2 lines, and that's the symbol and what color it means. Now, some people do copies of these and they cut these symbols out and they stick the symbols on top of the Tic Tac container. So what did we say R was? 535. Right, so these are my 535s. So some people will actually take a copy of that, cut it out and stick it onto there. So now they're looking for the symbol rather than translating to the number. I've got to be honest with you, I think that's an awful lot of faff. So I don't bother with that. So I just make reference to the numbers. So let's crack on with a little bit of the R's. So same as before, what I do, I'm going to start in the corner. So I need to cover up a lot of the square that I'm not using, because if I'm starting in that corner, can you imagine how many times my hand's going to stick to that? So I'll just reuse this cover paper, release paper, and I'll start at the top. Now, word of warning, there's I've got a couple of little better tools for squares. I've got one of these. Now, be really, really careful with these because they have to be sized properly. There's 2 sizes. Now, what you do with these is this one might actually work. Do you know what? It is actually the right size. Excellent. So, what we do with these is I'm only doing the R's. So, up here, what we will do, we stick this over, and this makes really good grid. Good grid. Right. But for God's sake, make sure it's lined up properly. I used one of these once before, and it turned out to be the wrong size, and it made a hell of a mess. So I think this is actually the wrong size. Most of them are the wrong size. Right. I think this might be the right size. I'll find out after using this. Right, so what I've got here is I've stuck this ruler down. Let's just bring the camera in a little bit. That's about as much as I dare, to be honest with you. I'll show you in the middle bit later on. But so now what we've got is we've got this square, and what that's gonna is it'll look. I'll tell you what. I'm just trying to think how to do this. This isn't the best way to show it off, because I haven't got full. Sorry guys, I'm trying to work this camera a little bit better. It's because it's the corners. See, once I'm working in the middle, it's going to show up better. Right. So what we do is we place our drills inside the middle bit, and then we pull this off, and then that will give us a really nice pattern to get our drill straight. But because there aren't, also because of the shape of it, can you see that they go in really well? Because it's square on square. If you put it in at a slight angle like this, can you see that's not going in? But you kind of push it in and then slide it in right in there to make the cross. It is a handy tool, but a lot of these are the wrong size. So there's one done in the top corner. I put 3 drills in, it's left 1 square. It really is hard to see because of the It's just the fact that it's the corner. Once we're working in the middle. But this doesn't really work so well, I think, with confetti. It works better with one big solid block of colour. So it'll work in the other corner absolutely perfect. So what do I mean by confetti? If you remember on the other diamond painting, when I get a big block of one colour, I do like a checkerboard pattern. God, this has really gone badly for me today. Do you know, I'm actually not even going to use that. Yeah, I'm not going to use it. It's a little bit too awkward. There's a little bit too many different colours. So when you have a big block of colour, what you do is you lay every other drill and you end up with like a chessboard effect. What confetti is can you see this bit here? About here, that's what we call confetti, and it's where you've got a mix of different colours. So as you can imagine, if this was all the same colour, this would be, I'd be able to whiz through all of this, because once you've got yourself in a bit of a rhythm, you don't even need to think about the colours. You just go drill, 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 drill. I'm really sorry that we're starting in such a bad spot. Where my cameras are, I can't get these in. I can't get the camera angled well. But once we get sort of it working in the middle, it's going to look great camera angle wise. So it's not even that good for me, to be honest with you, because it's so far. I'm working almost at arm's length. I'll tell you what. Let's rework my desk a little bit. So if I take all of that off my desk, I'll do a little bit of rearranging. I'm sorry about this, guy. My excuse that I'm going to stick with is that I've never worked on this current desk with a diamond painting at all, let alone of this size. And I got away with it with the other one because it was smaller. But now we've got something a little bit bigger. It's a little bit trickier. So I'm going to move my... This is the best I'm going to be able to do, guys. I can move it across about a few inches, but the trouble is it now overlaps on the actual table. I don't know if that's much better. That's a little bit better, isn't it? It's making it harder for me to see, but there you go, guys. Right, it's still a little bit high up for me, for my liking, but there you go. Now, some of these aren't really that neatly placed, and that's not a major problem. Is that an R there? I can't see that. Let me bang the lightness up. I think it is. Right, so this is all moving about all over the place. But this is my preferred drill shape, guys. It's just so much about it that I prefer. They just fit better because there's no gaps, you see. And, you know, whoever came up with the idea of putting a round peg through a square hole, let me put this back down. So Love Minis has just made a comment saying it's kind of like paint by numbers. Yes, it is. It's kind of a cross between paint by numbers and dot to dot, except that you don't have to follow the sequence of numbers, but you are literally... this is one of those hobbies where the more I try to explain it, the more boring it becomes. You know, if I said to you, right, get yourself a paintbrush and you paint yourself a picture, but you're only allowed to do one dot at a time, as opposed to doing a brush stroke, you've got to go dot, 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 dot. And that's going to sound so boring. But that's essentially what this is, and it's not boring. Does that make sense? Have I just ruined the entire hobby of diamond painting? Right, so you may notice up here, no, you won't notice. They're not exactly straight. I'm having a few issues with these, but I'm not really concerned because once you get the ones either side in, they just all fit together. In fact, actually, this ruler, right, so you see this ruler is made up of crosses. Now, once you get those 4 points of the cross in, that middle one, if those 4 points aren't in properly, when you get that middle one in, it will push them all out so that they can form properly. And it just, it kind of fixes itself. So, but I do have problems with these. If they're not on at exactly 90 degrees, it can cause a problem, but you just go with it. And then once you put all the other colors in, all the drills around it, it all pushes it in a bit. It's sorry, it's really awkward to explain, but basically put all the drills on and then spend a bit for a couple of minutes. Once you finish that square, just putting them in properly, lining them all up. That's all I do. Right. So do you think I'll get this whole square done? Also, I meant to say, the way I've cut this, normally I cut much smaller squares, say about that big, and that's about an hour's work. The corners, they tend to be less detailed and you can just sort of whiz through it quicker. So I've cut this corner a bit thicker, a bit bigger, whereas the bit in the middle is a middle section. I've cut about that much, and there's a lot more intense work. But yeah, just getting these corners is a little bit on the awkward side. But we'll get through it. And I've just put the release paper on, and then I've taken the release paper off. Why have I done that? So now you could do the checkerboard effect, and I did keep trying to do checkerboard, but then I kind of forget myself. But I kind of coined a new saying. This saying came about at work. Obviously, I drive some of the route, and my driving partner drives some of the other route. And he said to me, we were somewhere we were off to, and I didn't go the same way he would have went. And he said to me, "You've gone the wrong way." And I said, "I haven't gone the wrong way." I said, if we both end up at our destinations and we're both running on time, have we gone the wrong way? You know, if we've got there on time. And I think that can kind of be a little bit of, that looks awful, doesn't it? And I've stuck the boat down as well. That looks absolutely dreadful. Now, one area that I seem to be similar with Mrs. Coffee, and I do mention her a lot because I have a lot of respect for her, and I think she's absolutely amazing. When she's banging her drills in, they do look a little bit ununiform. And that's where we're both the same, except hers still look better than mine. But when we come to the end of a particular square, hers just seem to have lined themselves up properly. I don't know if it's just the way that she does it and it just sorts itself out. Whereas I have to spend a couple of minutes straightening them up. So where we're the same is that our drills don't come out that straight. They do end up straight, except that hers just seem to have, I don't know, maybe she's looked at them funny and growled and they've just gone, oops, we better sort ourselves out. Whereas mine, I've just had to spend a little bit of effort doing them. But I showed you my magic little tool the other day, didn't I? Which I now can't find. There we go. So with the help of this little tool, they'll all be straight at the end. Just got to sort of be a bit patient with them. But it's all the journey, isn't it? You know, you might be the sort of diamond painter where yours are all level. We both got to the final destination. So has either of us gone the wrong way? I say no. So I've been so looking forward to starting this. I've got to be honest with you. When I was told by Smith's Beads that this is going to be delayed, my actual reaction was, oh no, and I was really upset. But it was one of those, there's nothing you can do about it. So, you know, I wasn't going to sort of kick off about it. You know, what can I do? It wasn't Smith's Beads' fault. And, you know, shouting wouldn't have done anything, would it? I don't like people who shout when shouting doesn't help. In fact, I don't like shouting at all, really, because how often does shouting at someone actually help? If you shout at me, all it really does is it makes me want to help you less. And I am the kind of person who I will try and go above and beyond. But if you start shouting at me, I will probably end up just putting the absolute minimum in. Right, so there's a little bit of ugly R's there. So the rest of the R's are going down here, which is essentially going to make the outline of the wing mirror. So I'm going to have to pull that down a bit. Right, it's 10-2. Can I put the R's in, or shall we do the draw now? Because if I put the R's in, we're going to do the draw a little bit late. So don't forget, guys, if you haven't commented on that show, you're not going to win this wonderful prize. Yeah, you're not going to win anything. So get over there now. I'll put the link in the comments. Get over there, leave a comment, and if your number's up, then you'll get it. Now, I did a rehearsal earlier on. I'm not going to tell you who won it, but what I will tell you is the person whose name came up in the rehearsal was someone who's not a regular on my show. And well, obviously, I would like to see the regulars win more stuff. I like to see people, I like to see things done fairly. So it just goes to show that the regulars don't win everything. And also it's a good little option on that. I can actually put in things like remove duplicate comments. So if you leave like 100 comments, you don't end up with 100 times more chance of winning. So I kind of answered the question myself, didn't I? Do you want me to carry on and do the draw after? I should have waited for an answer, but I just kind of stepped in. But that's me for you. I do want to crack on with it. Well, as I say, I've said before, this is the part of the diamond painting I won't say I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy as much. As you can see, there's not an awful lot of detail, and if you weren't looking at the picture, you couldn't really tell what it was. Once you start getting to about here, and the greens start about halfway down, so you're not going to see. I mean, look, no, I can't. I've got the bulldog clip on, but all of the detail is in the bottom half. Yeah, right. Comment I've just seen. Let me go through the comments. Right, so Love Mini, so kind of like paint by numbers, stippling. I love to do that. So Joshua, hi Penny, see you on a different one from last week. Did you finish the other one, or is it on hold for a bit? Right, so what happened was a couple of days ago, I had a bit of insomnia moment. I don't know if I was dreaming of my custom that's arrived, and you know what it's like when the custom hasn't arrived, you can imagine what it's going to be like. But once you've actually received it and looked at it, you'll get all excited. So I had a big old section. Let me get some release paper on that. so I don't stick my diamond painting to the diamond painting. Right, so I had a section like there to finish, and I thought we'll get that done in 2 sessions. And I was kind of looking at it, and I thought if I can get it done in 1, then so I did this bit. I thought if I can get it done, then we'll get onto the custom quicker. And then I was left with this bit there, about the size of 1 piece of release paper. I come home this morning and I was in a really, really bad way, and I just wanted to crack on with something. So I finished it off, and I'm sorry if I took any joys of finishing it off from you. But, you know, as I said at the beginning of the show, it's all right. It's for £2.99. This is all right. It's not a fantastic diamond painting, but it's all right. I think I would rather pay, from what I can see, I'd rather pay my £44 for my custom than £2.99 for that. But the drills, the 310 drills, I had so many issues because most of them were stuck together, and I just couldn't wait till I finished the last 310. But yeah, it's all right. But this is a bit more of a distance painting. I know diamond paintings are a bit more. If I hold it up fairly close, it actually looks better on camera than it does in real life. But the further away the distance, so it doesn't look too bad, actually. It does look better with the drills on than just the painted picture. But it's, yeah, it's all right. It's okay. I won't buy another one from Fansels because I like these more detailed ones. Right, so Loveman, he says, what if Smith's Beads wins? Well, we will. I think she answers that for us. We've not commented. So they haven't commented, but if they had commented and their comment came up, then what I would do is I would redraw, and I would keep redrawing until their comment didn't come up, because it just wouldn't be fair. And we did discuss this on one of the shows. Obviously, not everyone's watched every minute of every show, but we did say, oh, what if Smith's Beads wins? I said, would you be offended if I excluded you from winning? And Smith's Beads said, well, that's exactly what we would expect you to do. So, yeah. And Teresa is excluded, as in Mike, because obviously they are Smith's Beads. Joshua says, sorry to hear you in a bad way this morning. Hope everything's all right. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, it's just one of those things. I'm pretty sure everybody has good days and bad days at work. On the whole, I have absolutely amazing days at work, and today was just one of those days where it wasn't such a good day. And I think, if anything, those days, they just help you appreciate the good days, don't they? So maybe you do need the odd bad day. So anyway, talking about being all inspirational and that, I watched a film on Amazon today. This is a film that I was recommended by a taxi driver. And he said, he goes, oh, are you religious? He goes, it's not really a religious film, but it is. And it's a film called The Shack. If anyone has seen it, and I am going to spoil it because I think it's been out long enough. It's absolutely amazing. And it doesn't sound like a sort of film for me. It's not one of the films that I'll go running down the cinema for. So basically what happens is you get the background of this guy, and he's brought up in a fairly religious family, but his dad does beat his mother up a lot, as well as beating him up. And as time goes on, he kind of finds himself in a situation where the only way he can find is the only way that he can find out is by poisoning his dad. So he ends up killing his dad. And then it cuts to sort of more modern day, and you can see that he's married to a woman who's fairly religious, and obviously he's turned his back a little bit because of the events that's happened. And then he takes his little girl on a holiday, and she gets abducted by some serial child abductor and obviously killed. And then he's struggling with life a bit, and he actually ends up getting invited back to this shack by God. And then he has a sort of couple of days with God, and it's really, really good film. Absolutely brilliant film. It kind of makes you think about things. And there was one bit that sort of struck me. I don't think I'm a judgy person, but after watching this film, I think I am. And that's the bit where they said, you judge everybody all the time. You judge them by their hair color, by their skin color, by the clothes they wear. And I'm like, do you know what? That's absolutely spot on, isn't it? Whether we say we're judgy or not, before we've even spoken to someone, we've probably made about 10 judgments. And I think we're all a little bit guilty that we've already made our mind up about. You know, the people who say that they're non-judgy, they'll actually talk to anyone and they say, I want to get to know someone. But I think the bottom line is that you've already made your decision about them before you've spoken to them. And if you've decided you don't want to speak to them, either you won't speak to them, or they're going to have to work so hard to get through that initial judgment. And, you know, how many times have you sort of spoken to someone and then afterwards thought, you know, I think I had them wrong? And I thought that was a really interesting point. And then there was this bit towards the end where his dad, he meets his dad, and his dad says he forgives him. And yeah, half a Kleenex came out then. So yeah, I was like, oh no, I can't cry. I'm trying to kit up my diamond painting. I can't afford to get tears all over this diamond painting. So I just stepped back a bit. So there we go. Right, let's do a bit of catch up on the comments. So Smith Speeds, we will enter when you do a giveaway from Harrods. Do you know what? If I ever do a giveaway from Harrods, I will probably just fiddle the draw a little bit and make sure you win. But don't tell the other people that are listening at the moment that I said that. So, John Alex Scale Modelling. Sorry, Penny, I'm delayed. That's okay. What, do you mean you're behind me or? Right. So, the story for the title. I have titled today, No McDonald's for You. And this is the story that on the day it was far from funny. But now that that day has finished, I think it's absolutely hilarious. And I think you'll find it hilarious too. So, we did one of our trips down to, this was, what's the day? I don't even know what the day is anymore. Is it Wednesday? So if today's Wednesday, no, it's Thursday today, Tuesday. I think it was Sunday night. Might have been Sunday night. Do you know what? I'm going to be a bit of a stickler for details. I'm going to check my calendar and I can see it was Sunday night. So Sunday night, I did a trip down to London on the N30, just advertising Flixbus there. Now, we had a problem with our coach. The toilet door was locking and you couldn't unlock it. You couldn't even unlock it with a key. I think other people had tried as well. And it just got to the point where the best you could do was pull the barrel out of the lock. But there's like an electronic latch in there and it locked. Turns out it was an electrical problem because you can lock the toilet with a key. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, right. John Scower. No, I'm sorry, just joining 2200. So are you an hour behind on the show? Is that what you mean? Or are you like a minute or two behind? Because there is a natural delay of about 30 seconds or 10 seconds or something like that. Because I actually have YouTube on as a monitor. In fact, I'll tell you how long the delay is. Let me just take my pen out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's about a 7 or 8 second delay, depending on how accurately I can count 1 second. So there is a natural delay anyway. Yeah, so this toilet door had locked. You can lock it with a key, but there's also a lock on the dashboard. So you can lock it from the actual driver's seat. Now, we thought there was a problem with the actual key, but it turns out the electronic lock was locking it. So anyway, so basically we had no toilet facility. Now it's 4 hours from Glasgow to Manchester. It's about 2.5 hours from Manchester to Birmingham, and it's about 3.5 hours from Birmingham to London. So we made the call to stop at service stations between Glasgow and Birmingham, Glasgow and Manchester, and then between Birmingham and London. So we stopped at the first. Now, the way, when I used to do single man, I always used, if I ever had to stop, I would tell the customers you have 10 minutes, and I would pull off after 15 minutes. No head counts, no nothing. It's up to you to check the time. And I've actually given you 5 minutes longer than I said I would. And I think that's fair. And I know we're all biased, but every single coach driver I've spoken to says that's totally fair. If, you know, some of you might go, well, what if I'm a little bit slow? Well, you should have said, oh, I'm a little bit slow. Can you help me out? And I'll go, right, well, what I'll do is I'll look out for you and I'll make sure I don't leave until you're on board. So, you know, I can make allowances if you say you've got a problem. But yeah, generally, I'll say 10 minutes. Once my tachograph hits 15, 16 minutes, bang, I'm out of there. I'm gone. I don't care if you're on or not. So we stopped for this service break and we told them 10 minutes. And I even said to them, my advice to you would be to go to the toilet, even if you're not sure if you need the toilet. You know, if you just go and sit on the toilet and do a little dribble, you know what I mean? It's you know, so we were hoping to not have to do another toilet break, but I don't have a weak constitution, but I am probably slightly weaker than average. So I knew I'd need a stop anyway. So we're waiting. We get to about 15 minutes and we do a head count. Why we did a head count, I don't know. I wouldn't do a head count, but I'm working with a team member. We have to work to the same set of rules. So he decides we're going to wait a little bit longer for him. And we wait a total of about 18 minutes, 17 minutes, something like that. And this guy comes trundling down with a bag of McDonald's. So the first thing my driving partner says is, no, you ain't bringing that on here. We don't allow hot food on the coach. So what this guy has done, he's took his McDonald's out of the paper bag and he's put, get this, he's put the paper bag on a truck, someone else's truck. Now, I wouldn't mess with a truck driver. I certainly wouldn't leave my rubbish on their truck. And I'm sitting there and I'm cringing. I'm thinking, God, I hope that truck driver don't turn up. Can you imagine, you know, if it was your car and someone just put their rubbish on your car, you'd go mental, wouldn't you? So anyway, turns out what this guy's doing is he's trying to reason with my driving partner, saying, oh, well, look, I'll tell you what, I'll put my food in the bag, in my hold all. and I'll eat it later. And you know that that's never going to happen. They say that, but you know it's going to come out. So this was going on for a couple of minutes, and I just think, you know what, sod this. So I get out of the driver's cab. I grab the paper bag that he's left on the truck, and I said, here, mate, put your food in the bag. So he puts the food in the bag, and then I walk over to the bin, and I just dump everything in the bin. I says, right, now get on the coach. And he got on, and off we went. So we lost about 20 minutes on this. Right, I see. Just joined the stream, Pennies. It's 6 o'clock here. Okay, you must be on holiday then. No, you. Oh, I see. Yeah. Right, yeah. So I thought you were British based for some reason. David Bassett, good evening, Penny, and everyone watching. How are you? And then Love Minnie says, hi, David. Yeah, so we're there for about 20 minutes, but we finally get on our way. We're a little bit peeved off, but, you know, we're on our way now. And we stop at Birmingham, at Manchester. We change drivers. We don't do any stops between Manchester and Birmingham because we just didn't feel we needed it. It was only a couple of hours. Do you know what? I'm going to get rid of that drill. This is one of those rare drills where you get a little bit of flash, and I'm just not going to bother with it. Yeah, so anyway, so we get... Now, the plan was we were going to try and stop at a stop more than halfway, so we've got less than half the distance to travel. But this woman, she says to us, we hadn't long left Birmingham, and she said, oh, I need to go. I need to use the toilet. So we said, all right, fine. We weren't even halfway, but... So we're pulling into this services. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was Milton Keynes way, probably a lot earlier than that. Anyway, I said on the announcement, I said, okay, we're pulling in for the toilet. This is specifically for a toilet break. We will give you 10 minutes. Please, you know, be quick because we might accidentally leave you behind. This is not for, and I specifically said, please do not go to McDonald's and get food, because if you come back with hot food, we will refuse the hot food on the coach. So you will just end up losing it. So, and again, I said, you know, even if you don't need the toilet, I would advise you to go, because you never know. Anyway, we get 7 minutes into this break, and this guy comes up to me and he says, oh, I'm really sorry. My mother needs to go to the toilet. I said, well, why didn't she go straight away? Oh, she doesn't understand English. And I looked at her and she looked a bit older than me, which, you know, theoretically means she's probably got a weaker bladder than me. And I'm torn between, well, I told you 10 minutes, we're going in 10 minutes, and the moral obligation of allowing her to go to the toilet. I went, all right, fine, look, if you can just be as quick as you can. And in all fairness, she was 4 minutes. When she came back, we'd been sat there for 11 minutes, and it was 7 minutes when she left. So in all fairness, she was only 4 minutes. And I'm saying to my partner, I said, oh, I think we've done all right, actually. I said, we're only about a minute down, and we were expecting to be there 15 minutes. He does a head count. Guess what? One missing. One person missing. So I do a head count to make sure he's counted correctly. And yes, he has counted correctly. We've got one person missing. So we wait a bit longer. We wait a bit longer. We wait a bit longer. So eventually my driving partner, he goes into the services. There he is. He's just come out of the queue for McDonald's with a big bag of food. But get this, he's now going into the queue for Costa Coffee. So he's like, no, get on the coach. You ain't going to bring that hot food on with you. So when I see him, he's being frog marched out by my driving partner, wiping his mouth from the McDonald's that he shoved down his mouth. And I just said, look, come on. I said, we said, you know, you're holding up the coach. We told you not to get hot food because you ain't going to be able to eat it in time. And he just goes, oh, I'm sorry. And I said, no, you ain't sorry. You just say that. And I said, besides, these customers who want to get to London, they're the ones that you're pissing off. I said, I'm being paid for all of this. Actually, I was pissed off because that particular service, it gets into London a little bit later. And if you have too many delays, by the time you get to the hotel, they stop serving breakfast. So you then end up missing a meal just because you're a bit too late. But I just thought, not only did he go to McDonald's, but then he was going to queue in Costa as well. And I'm like, are you in this like little world where time doesn't tick? You could sit there in your world, it's half an hour, but in my world, it's 10 seconds. So on supporters coach, we call that splash and dash. Yeah. Basically, that's it. I've had that where I've been on a football coach and you're too scared to do anything than a pee because you think you don't even want to sit down because you think, oh, the coach driver might leave me behind. So, to be honest with you, right, even if they lied to me, and I always say I hate customers who lie, but if someone went to McDonald's, bought food, crammed it down their neck, and I didn't know they've ever been to McDonald's, and they say, oh, I'm really, really sorry, I went to the toilet and it turns out I've got a dicky tummy, I'll probably just go, well, that's it, no more details needed, don't worry about it, go and sit down. Which I know is, I always say I hate customers who lie to me, but if I don't find out the truth, I don't need to worry about it, do I? But yeah, it was just, he was so, he didn't give a shit. You knew he didn't give a crap. But, but we had a woman the other day, she was going on about, oh, you have to stop. You have to stop at the toilets. And we're going, no, we don't have to. Yes, you do. It's the law. Well, because you come out with a comment like that, you get the hackles on my neck up. And I go, okay, then you show me where it's law and then I'll pull over. And then my driving partner, he went and tried the door and he went, yeah, it works. Yeah, look, you can use this toilet. Because sometimes people try and get us to pull over at services just because they don't want to use the toilet. And I know they're not the most glamorous toilets in the world, but personally, I think they're a lot better than having to hold it for 9 hours. And if you do these holiday coach tours, you could be traveling in Spain or whatever for a long time. And of course, if you're going to travel in a hot country, your natural thing to do is to cram loads of fluids down your neck. And the more fluids you cram down your neck, the more you're going to need to go to the toilet. So, yeah, right. So that's what I've got so far. I've still got some more R's, but what I'm starting to do here is just define the edge of this is the corner of the coach, and this is the sticky out wing mirror, which scares the heebie-jeebies out of me. Every time you go around a corner, because this wing mirror sticks out, you're like, oh, am I going to catch the wing mirror on the traffic light? But I suppose if it makes you look, that's not a bad thing, is it? Because I think they've spent a few years coming up with gadgets to make you less likely to hit things and things that you don't really need to look. And there really is no substitute for looking, is there? I've done it before where I've looked in my wing mirrors, seen that it's clear, or I think it's clear, I don't know, maybe it wasn't clear, but you think that's clear. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, motorbike or something. And you're like, Christ, where did that come from? So, yeah, right. So let me finish these R's off. I've just got to come up here and a little bit up there, and then we'll do the draw. So if anyone hasn't entered, it's almost too late now. So get on to onto that stream from last Tuesday. I have put the link in the chat, which you should be able to scroll up and see. If anyone says to me, oh, it's not fair, I didn't get the chance to enter, I think I'm giving you lots of chances to enter. So hopefully the person who wins it is actually watching today, but not a problem. And most certainly, definitely, if whoever wins it, given that I just had to change my Facebook account. David Bassett, I just checked. Are we friends on my new Facebook account? I think we are, because you always have. You have been to so many Wickham games on the coaches that nearly every day it comes up on my Facebook. David Bassett, memories for today. And it's always him on a coach going to a football match. And it's really funny because the way he takes selfies, he always puts himself in the bottom left corner, and the rest of the picture is taken up with a picture of the coach. And sometimes he'll take, I don't know, he takes pictures of empty seats, and he says, "This is me on the coach to Hartlepool or wherever." So, and I do love seeing your little memories come up, David. It just makes me laugh. Always the same pose, always the same smile. It's almost like he says every day, "Oh, I can't believe I'm actually on this coach." Right, so. Oh, it's so much easier coming down this side. So, Love Mini says, "Good name for it, David." Yeah, I do that, Splash and Dash. Love Mini's not any worse than plain toilets. Probably not. I would imagine that our toilets might be better than the plain toilets, because what gets me about plain toilets is that you have this thing called the Mile High Club. And if you don't understand what the Mile High Club is, I am not going to explain it. But it's a bit of a trophy, isn't it, to join the Mile High Club? It's not so much of a trophy to join along the M6 doing 60 mile an hour club. So I would imagine in that respect, coach toilets are a little bit better. So I meant to say, actually, if anybody wants to join me, you don't have to have a camera. Drop us a hello or whatever, and I'll send you a link to come and join us on StreamYard. And don't worry, you can't cause any mischief, because you'll be on as a guest, and guests don't have as many rights to cause mischief. So, you know, if you're one of these people that are going, "Well, I'd love to join your show, Penny, but I just have this habit of causing problems," don't worry, you won't. Was that a really good way of saying troublemakers need not even bother? Another thing I like about squares, I meant to say, is the ridges on these boats. They seem to be the exact same width as round drills. And the round drills can sometimes get a little bit wedged in there. Because squares are slightly smaller, they've just got that bit more room. Not a lot, just enough. It's like these boats were, it was like they were designed for square drills. And when it comes to boat circles, rounds, it's a case of that'll do. So they just seem to work in the boat better with squares. So you have to bear with me. I'm hiccuping a lot. I was sort of finishing something off when the lodger came home, and as he came on, he says, "Oh, have you eaten today, Penny? Do you want me to do dinner?" And I thought, do you know what? I hadn't. You know, when you have one of those days, you just don't eat, but you don't even think about. You're not purposely missing meals. You're just like, "Oh, I haven't eaten yet." And it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I haven't eaten. And then I remembered lodger pays his rent on the 15th or the 16th of the month. And we've got this little tradition where we have a takeaway around about the 15th or the 16th of the month. It all started when he first moved in. I gave him the option of paying weekly or monthly. Now, what I want monthly is a little bit more than 4 times weekly. It works out the same over the course of 12 months, but because he moved in February and he chose to pay monthly, when it came to like the 15th of March, because there's only 28 days in February, it was only 28 days since he'd moved in. So as a result, he was paying a monthly rent for 4 weeks. And I felt, although he had the choice, and everyone I've spoken to about this has said it's his choice, and I still feel a little bit bad. So I kind of felt I'd accidentally ripped him off about 40 quid. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, let's have a takeaway tonight. And we had a takeaway. I think we had a pizza. It came to about 20, 30 quid. And afterwards we went, you know what, this is nice. Let's do this every month. So what I do now is every month we have takeaway. It's just our little thing. And, you know, nothing wrong with a takeaway once a month. Right, I'm just going to change my camera. Is that me? Right. So, yeah, because I'm going to be doing the draw in a sec, so I might as well do it. I'm just going to grab a drink and stuff. So we do a takeaway every month, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, it's the first of the month, and we haven't done this month's takeaway. So I just went, sod it, do you want a pizza? So I think it was, who did we have today? Pizza Hut we had today, and they've got this offer: 2 large pizzas, 2 classic sides, and 1.5 litres of drink, which is why I'm drinking fizzy drink today, because I got 1.5 litre bottle of fizzy drink with the pizza. And large pizza, that'll do me for my lunch tomorrow. I'll just bang it in the microwave and I'll finish it tomorrow, so that's not overly expensive. Right, so competition time. Do you want to know exactly what's in the box? Right, so basically, as you remember, I put some stuff in the box. Oh, this is what you can win. And what I've been doing over the last week or so is any other little bits, I've chucked them in. They're all diamond painting related. But there might have, for example, been something that I thought, well, yeah, I'll keep that. And then I thought, actually, I won't use it. I'll put that in the box. There's a couple of bits in there that you don't necessarily know about. So I'm going to give you 3 options. Option 1 is we can keep it as a surprise. So someone's going to receive stuff, they don't know what's coming. The second option is I can show you exactly what's going to be in the box. The third option, which I'll say is my preferred choice, why don't we do the draw, and then whoever wins it, they can go, no, I want to keep it a surprise. I don't know. I don't want people knowing what I win. Or they can say, yeah, show us what's in the box. So, you know, dealer's choice, so to speak. So, right, guys, it's 24 minutes past the hour. So I am going to close this competition in 2 minutes. So if you have not entered, when you said third option surprise, do you mean the second option, don't show anyone? Right, so guys, I am posting the link to the relevant show, which is there now. If you haven't entered, you are more than welcome to enter. If you don't do diamond painting and you know someone who does, you are still welcome to enter. Share the love. Well, I don't mind that you aren't going to use this yourself. I'm just happy to... I was kind of trying to build up to big competition for 1,000 subscribers, but I think it's being a bit big-headed and a bit optimistic to say that's coming soon. And I've got this stuff, and I've just hit 750 subscribers, so thank you, everybody. Am I still on? Oh, I've got another subscriber since last week. whoever you are, thank you very much. I love everybody equal, but I do love the people who subscribe latest. So give it another minute. Leave a comment if you want to. And then if you don't leave a comment, you will not be entered. And I can see Donnie John has made a comment. In for a penny, in for a pound. I like that. And I can see my world's favourite YouTubers just... I've got a guy, right? I'm not going to say who he is because I don't badmouth people in public. I always do it behind their back, just joking. It always seems every time I leave a comment... every time I stream, he does. Right, so Facebook user says count me in. I'm going to be honest with you, because you have to register or you have to do something. I'm just trying to think of a way around this. Right, so I can't see who you are. Right, so what I'll do is I haven't commented on my own video. So how about I will only do this for one person. If you would like to give me a name, Facebook user, or a code or something, I will make a comment on my own video with that comment that you make, and I will count that as your entry. Am I being okay with that? Do you think that's okay? I haven't commented on my own videos. So, we've got quite a few comments. Well done to everyone who's commented. Donnie John, John Alex Scale Modelling. I'm free. Right, so Fiona, right. So look, this is what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to comment on my own video. And I'm going to put Fiona Humphreys. I spelled that wrong. I can't spell copying. H, that's why it's wrong. I missed the H out. Free. Isn't it funny? So one person has made a comment, I'm free, and then we get a Fiona Humphreys. Was it Humphreys something to do with are you being served? Right, guys, so I've made a comment that just says Fiona Humphreys. This is me helping out a Facebook user, someone who's watching the show on Smith Speed's website, Smith Speed's Facebook group. So if I win the competition with the comment Fiona Humphreys, you know that I've entered that on behalf of someone. The reason I'm doing that is I don't really understand this thing about you have to register or something on Facebook for your name to come up, and it's getting very, very close to the end, and I don't even know if this Fiona has an account on YouTube, and some of you will probably be able to give me a fair argument to say it's unfair, but listen, let's try and get as many people included as we can. It's all about sharing the love, isn't it? Right, so Mark Fitz says option 3. That's me with a link. Count me in. Right, Dave Buster, is your coach route going into Victoria Coach Station in London, Penny? Yes, it is. My coach will either travel. We have a West Coast run and we have an East Coast run. So if we do the East Coast run, we go Glasgow, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Sunderland, Sheffield, Meadowhall, Leicester, then London, Finchley Road, and then London, Victoria. If we go West Coast run, we go Glasgow. Our next stop is Manchester. Our next stop is Birmingham, and then we go Finchley Road, then London Victoria Coach Station. So there's 3 stops that is common for both routes. And we have one run in the morning and we have one run in the evening on both trips. So we have the 10 runs in the morning. The nighttime version is the N10. And you've got the 30 and the N30. The N10, sorry, the 10 doesn't do Sunderland in the daytime, but it does do Leeds in the daytime. And the N10 doesn't do Leeds. And the 30, it does Lancaster University and Preston, in addition to Manchester and Birmingham. So, right. Dave was just giving me some sad news I didn't actually know. So Fiona's not sure why her name's not showing up. Yeah, I don't fully get it. I think Mike's the one to talk about this one. That's my husband's name. I took it on. We do have running jokes saying I'm free. So there we go. My name is Fee the Diamond Painting Addict. So now I'm now thinking I now know who I want to win this stuff because, diamond painting addicts. Or maybe I want someone who's not as experienced with diamond painting to win. Because I think some of this stuff that I've got is pretty good for a new user. So Bill Turnbull, I didn't know he'd passed away. So I'm a little bit sad by that. Met him several times at Adams Park. Always happy to chat to people about the Chair Boys. Yeah, you and me both. This is why I love it when you come on my stream, because Mike tells me off when I mention football. And as you can imagine, because we're third tier football, I don't get many people interested in Wickham, do I? And obviously I live in Glasgow, so people are a little bit more interested in two certain other teams, much more than Wickham. But I'm trying to get to an Aberdeen game. I'm desperate to get to an Aberdeen game because Aberdeen, as of this season, is now my second favourite Scottish team, and I would say they are doing better this season, and I like to think it's because of one certain player. And I remember at the beginning of the season, Aberdeen's opening game was against Celtic, and you can't bet against Celtic, really, can you? And I said, look, I hope for Celtic win, but I also hope for a good game from Aberdeen. And that was exactly how it went. So Stuart had a really good game, actually. So, right. Something to do with StreamYard. Have to click to allow StreamYard to publish your name. You just spoke about football. No, you say this. But see, now you're the first one to bring up politics and religion. So it's your fault. You've just opened the gates there. So David Bassett, of course, Anthony Stewart, Joshua. Right, yes, I'm glad you did. Right, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, Joshua. It is £34 for 17 meals for that Huel, and that's £2 a meal. Now I don't know if I'm guessing you get 500 mils. Now the Superdrug stuff that I buy, it works out as 40p a sachet, of which I use 2 sachets, so it's 80p. Now on a 2-day trip down to London, I'll take 3 meals with me. So that's a huge saving just on the 2 days. However, Sainsbury's sell the single bottles. They're £3.50 a bottle, already made up. So I thought, all right, fine. I will. I'll try one, and I tried the vanilla because I think you said to try the vanilla one, and even the website said if you're new to Huel, try the vanilla. And I bought it, and I like vanilla. Vanilla is my favourite flavour, and Superdrug don't do a vanilla flavour. And I would say with Huel, vanilla is certainly not a vanilla flavoured milkshake. It's a vanilla flavoured something, but it's got a bit of a funny taste to it. So it's a bit of a no for me, but it's not really going to suit me in the sense that I have this bit of an attitude of I'm at work to earn money, not spend it. So if I'm spending like £2, £6, it's still going to save me money on buying takeaway. But I get on really well with the Superdrug ones. So I appreciate the offer, but I am going to stick with Superdrug. Smith Speeds, you started with football. I got a funny story later on. It's a stand-up routine I heard from a comedian, and it's a really good man point of view, women point of view. But I'll explain that one later on because it did make me giggle. Right. So David Bassett said he is captain at Aberdeen. Right, let's do this draw. So we have got screen share. Right, sorry. I think this is it. So this is my, oops, wrong one. Right, so that's my stream. So I'm going to refresh that just in case. Right, then I'm going to go to this tab and I'm going to refresh that one. Then I put in my link to my stream. And click fetch. So select a filler. So, right, I can include replies. And as you see there, duplicates has been switched off. So, right, so we've got 9 comments. So all I have to do is press that button and it's going to pick a winner. So what we'll do is we'll press that button. And then once I've actually pressed that, it's picked a winner. We'll then look at the YouTube thing and we will just make sure that comment is correct. So are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is very quick, unfortunately. So the winner is Donnie John. Look at that. He only just commented. So Donnie John, if you want to get hold of, send me a message on Facebook. You have won the box of goodies. Donnie John, in for penny, in for pound. So if we go on to there we are. There's his comment 42 minutes ago. So congratulations, Donnie. So that's kind of gone exactly as I'd like it to have gone, as in someone who's watching tonight has won it. So Donnie, can I have your permission to show everyone exactly what was in the box? Or do you want it as a bit of a surprise? There's only a few extra things in the box. So, but I do need you to get hold of me somehow. I think actually, if you can't get hold of me on Facebook, I believe, yes, if you go to my main channel page, click on the About tab, there's you can view my email address. And I've just opened myself up for tons and tons of emails. But I'd rather you got hold of me on Facebook. But if you want to send me an email, but do us a favor, make the email subject really, really obvious. Because I have this terrible habit of every time I buy something online, I forget to tick that box that says I do not wish to receive marketing emails from absolutely everybody in the world. So I receive about 40 emails a day, most of which just says, buy this product because you haven't bought us anything since we sent you the last email half an hour ago. So, right. So, comments just gone mental. So, did you start? You started with football, right? So, yeah, to be fair, it does take some getting used to. I get the money point, though. It can run a bit expensive. Sticking to what you know. Yeah, I mean, I give it a try. I will never knock anything without trying it. But, you know, it's... I guess it'd be the same with a hill, but I just shove six little packets in my bag, and then I'll have 2 when I get to it. I'll buy a pint of milk. Sometimes I buy a litre of milk, and I'll make it up in my little bottle, and I sit there going like, you know, shaking it all up. That's me shaking the bottle, not anything else. And then I'll have 1, maybe 2. In fact, more often than not, I'll have 2 on the way down because I do most of the driving on the way down, and then I'll just have the 1 on the way back. So John Alex Scale Modelling could talk footy 24/7. We'll have to set up a chat then. Me, you, and David Bassett, and we'll just have a good old chat about football for 24 hours. My 2020 playoff shirt, final shirt, V Oxford has 5 Stewart on the back. I had a playoff final shirt, but I got kicked out at Gravesend, and unfortunately, that's one of the things I didn't pick up. So I'm a bit bitter about that. And the Pride shirt I bought, I never received it. So 2 shirts I've never received. So I think next time I buy any shirts from Wickham, I'm going down to the shop and I'm going to buy them. So, right, Smith Speed says penny, then Smith Speed says penny, then Smith Speed says penny. Is that a reference to Big Bang Theory? Penny, penny, penny. So, Love Minnie says congrats. Donny John Alex says congrats to Donny John. John Spirit, nice one, Donny. Smith Speed says congrats. Donny John says woohoo. And Donny John says by all means shows what's inside. David Bass says congratulations to Donny John. So let's do another unboxing. Oh, Smith Speed says will message. Now that worries me now. See, I'm quite a paranoid person, and it's like that. I've read that. The way that I've read that is like when your mother says, "I'll talk to you later." Right. So let's see what Donny has won. Some of this has got slightly muddled, for which I apologise for. But I've got some bags actually, I just remembered. Right, so let's pull this camera up a little bit because we need the space. Excuse the mess on my desk. So the first thing you have got is some release paper. Smith Speed sent me some more release paper. They said they were going to, and they did. So the release paper that I've been using, this I cut some of my release paper down a little bit just to, but you see, I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's got, but word of warning for you, take this very seriously. You see, you've got some waxy side there, and you've got a matte side. Do not, under any circumstances, put this plain side down. It is like sticking normal paper to your diamond painting, and you will have a bad time. Make sure they feel very different on each side. So I found if you just give it a quick double check, make sure that waxy side goes down. It does say on the front in big letters, this is divided into front and back. Use the wax off. Focus. Use the wax side against the diamond painting. Do not stick the matte side to the surface of the diamond paint, otherwise the diamond painting will be damaged. So take that warning. It's honestly, it's really, really, look, I'll show you. I'm not going to show you the matte side, but if you stick it wax side down, look how easy that comes up. Trust me, if I stick that the other way round, Smith Speeds will tell you that you'll have a terrible time. So that you've won that. You have won these little sticky numbers to put on your containers. There's a complete set in there of numbers. So I'll show you the bit that I've been using. Here we go. So they're only little stickers, and they're just very convenient. I used to print them all off using a label maker, but this is so much easier. Right, so we have got 3 tiny tubes of PVA glue. So if you have any problems, like if there's bits of diamond paint that doesn't stick, just pop a little drop of this PVA glue on, and that'll sort you out. Now this, there's a little grinder in there, so if you've got any drills that are stuck together, use the grinder. I have opened it and used it a couple of times, but on the whole, it is absolutely perfect. You have got this big gated boat. It is really good, this boat, but I don't often use enough drills to warrant it. So I haven't used it. I haven't tested it, but I know a lot of people get on well with these. Give you an idea of the size difference. This is a normal white boat. and that's the size comparison, and it's got the little gate on it. So you've got my favorite tool ever, which is this little, I absolutely love this tool. I use this so much, and it just, once you finish doing a section, I'll sit there and I'll go through it all, and I can use them to straighten everything up. And then when I'm starting edges, I can stick that onto the edge, and that's giving me that nice flat start. It's one of the best tools I've ever used. And you've got, I chucked that in. That came out of a diamond painting. I just slung that in. That's just a basic starter kit. And then you've got this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all of the contents out, stick them in a box. But this is a lovely little organizer. You've got the little mermaid pen, a couple of boats, a white boat, a couple of rolls of washi tape. I love this pot. I was almost tempted to steal this pot. It's a really nice little pot of wax. But at the end of the day, the reason I didn't steal it is because I don't actually use wax. But it's a really nice little pot. And then you've got a few little Tic Tac containers there. Only 12, but that's enough. So what I'll do, I've now got a bag. So I'll take all of these out and bag them up separately. You've got a pack of 98 bags. There's a pack of 100, but I've twice now I've taken them out. And they're like the little freezer ones. They've got that little write-on strip, which makes them so much better. You've got a load of blank labels. You've also got some round drills in there where I missed the bin, I'm afraid. I was emptying some drills out. So you might get a few rogue. There might be one or two little drills in there. And then that's the little item sorted out. You've got 2 rolls of square, what do you say? This was this 30 by, yeah. So 2 blank pieces of canvas, 30 by 40. This is for square drills, not for round. And lastly, almost reluctantly, fairly reluctant to put it in, you've got this wonderful little container that you've got it's the box that will hold the Tic Tac containers. But you won't get the Tic Tac containers in because you have this handy little tray for bits and bobs. And what I've also done, the magnets that came with my light pad, I won't use them. And a lot of people use these as cover minders. So I've just done, they're fairly strong magnets, to be honest with you. Sometimes people fold the paper back and they use it to hold down. So I'll sling those in as well, just as a little bit of something. So that's in the pot. And that's all yours. So, yeah, there you go. That is all yours. So all I need to do is get that boxed up. I'll get all of this in a bag. In fact, I'll do it now while I'm talking about it, because otherwise everything's just going to go everywhere. You've got more rogue drills in there. I do apologise. So this mermaid pen, it's not something that I do because it just ends up a laughable disaster, but it's got these multi-places on there. Do you know what? That's bugging me. It's got a little bit of flash on it, so I'm just going to trim that back for you. There you go. That's better. So you got multi-places there, and the multi-places go, pull the tail off, pop that on there, so you don't lose your single place, and you got your multi-places on the back. I think that's pretty darn good. Apart from the fact that I don't place multi-drills. You've got 1 white boat. You've got 4 green boats, and you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 Tic Tacs, and there's your little container again, like with some rogue drills in there. So yeah, I put all of that in a bag because by the time that's gone through the postal system, that's going to slosh about all over the place. So we'll put that in there, and it looks quite impressive now. I don't know how I'm going to do this. It's shows you how good at packing Smith's beads are, because this all came out of that one box and I can't get it all back in. So that's your little box of goodies. So send me your address and I will get that sent. When's my next payday? Tomorrow. So I get paid on a Friday, so I've nipped that down to I'll probably book a Hermes delivery, because I think that's going to be a little bit cheaper, isn't it, for me? Call me a cheapskate if you want, but yeah. So how's that? How is that? So right, Stuart Sullivan, excellent video. Smith B says LOL, and Donny John says excellent. Thank you very much. I'll put it to good use. That's all I ask, actually. You know, it's if you can use it, either you use it or you give it to someone who will use it, then that's all I ask, really. So right, let's get some more diamond pearl. I don't know what's going on with my camera arm. Boom arm is not working. Boom, boom, boom. Shake the room. Penny, parcel to go. Okay, good idea. Oh, I've done a bit of naughty shopping during the week. I've bought some more things from Smith's Beads. Not for a giveaway, they're for me. I'm being really selfish, guys. So I bought myself some things which are coming whenever they come. I'm not in a desperate rush. I have bought myself another one of these, though. I think that's absolutely awesome, because as you can see, I can't fit in all of the Tic Tac containers that I need to use. And I've also bought, let me move my camera. Right, see, I've got these sets of drawers, and I've got a whole collection of them, all various sizes. And this is the one I use for my diamond painting, but my roller is just a little bit too big for it. So I've ordered one of these. You get a 1/3 size drawer and a 2/3 size drawer. So that's getting replaced shortly. So that parcel will be with me any day now. And I actually know. Oh, I got a lesson in greed for you guys. So I've ordered my super drug milkshakes are running low, and I thought I can't be bothered to go all the way into Glasgow to buy some more. So I went on to the Superdrug website, and I thought, I wonder if they do a mail order, which they do. So I saw that they order a certain amount and get free postage. So I'm all right, fine. So I put 10 boxes in, total of 40 quid. Yeah, 40 quid. And then it went to say, oh, do you want to register? And then register your card. And I went, all right, fine, I'll register the card. And the price dropped to about £17. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Do you have shop cards, Penny? I printed your logo for my modelling mat. How do you mean, do I have shop cards? Do you mean like business cards? Because if that's what you mean, the answer is no. The only thing I have, give me 1 second, guys. So this is the closest I have to anything personalized. My scale, well, all of my models, I try and buy a mug associated. So this is the one I bought for my my fire truck, and I loved it because that Dalmatian just sitting there waiting for the guys to come back from the next show. I bought a Tomcat mug. I couldn't find a decent mosquito mug, so I used Vistaprint, and I had this made up, and it was, to be honest with you, it's practically the same price to have 2 mugs than it is to have 1. So on my mosquito videos, I'm running a competition. Someone can win a mug. And what I've done is I've been a bit cheeky. and I put my logo on one side. So I do have another one of these mugs, but I was thinking about doing like a modeling mat. I did speak to a printer ages ago about doing a cotton mat and having like black and white semi-transparent images in the background of all the projects that I was doing. But I just, in the end, I thought for the price and given that projects come to an end soon at some point, I thought it probably wasn't worth it. So, and now I've forgotten what I was talking about. Oh God, give me a second. I'm just going to rewind that video. And now again. I've forgotten what I was talking about. I'll get all of this powers that all. So I went on to the Superdrug website. There we go. I know what I was talking about now. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I was on the Superdrug website and I registered, and the cart price dropped to about £17. And I thought, oh, they've obviously got some kind of promotion that if you order, if you register or something, they'll give you a discount on your goods. So I thought, oh, lovely. Right, well, what I'll do is I'll double or triple my order, take advantage of that money off. So I doubled the order and it went bing, subtotal 80 quid. And I thought, oh, no. So my little greed has lost me that discount, I'm afraid. So, right, 6 I'm doing next. 6 is 3799. I've got a feeling most of these are probably going to be darker colours, aren't they? Let's have a look. Yeah. So actually, yeah. So I'm obviously doing this little bit there now. I think the next one, I like what Mike's done there, and he's blurred out the background a little bit. I think the next one I do, I won't get the black background blurred out, and then we'll actually be able to see should I have blurred the background or not. But I think it's probably better blurred. So, oh, she's had a ding. Oh, that's sorry, bear with me. I just had a message from a friend. I will just respond to that right quick. So the oh, here we go. Right, so that's John sorted out. Yeah, so we, as you know, last week I went to that concert and my friends came round, you know, make up before we go. And what they did is they left their stuff around mine with the intention of picking it up on the way home. And obviously on the night we've gone, oh, sorry, we'll pick it up tomorrow. And I guess they would have been busy or something and they didn't pick it up. And because now I've had 6 days of work, so this, all their makeup and stuff is all stuck around my house for the last week. So she just sent me a message saying, will you or V be in tomorrow? So I said, yeah, I'm in all day. So that's my day off used. Next fortnight's time, I know I'm telling you this really, really early. I'm going on to days, but I've got a friend at work. She's had a little bit of bad news. So I said to her, right, you come around mine, couple of bottles of wine between us. And we're just going to sit there and talk. And, you know, she just needs a shoulder to cry on and, you know, a friend right now. So although it's going to be an evening thing and I'm planning on streaming at 2 o'clock, there is a possibility there may be no stream from me that day or the following day due to, shall we just say illness? But you know, when I'm talking about wine, you know what I mean by illness, don't you? But, you know, sometimes you guys see me 2 or 3 times a week. She only has certain days off and my days off change from week to week. So this bloody thing, it slipped. But because the bulldog clip is actually on a sticky bit, it's rucked this up. There we go. I think that's sorted. Yeah, it's just moved a little bit. So yeah, I'm sorry. I know you guys have no choice in it, but I'm gonna abandon you just for one day, possibly. I'll probably be all right, actually. You know, I stream at 2 in the afternoon, so it's probably plenty of time to sort my head out, isn't it? But I think it's right in the middle of 3 days off, so you'll get a stream, then you'll not get a stream, then you will get a stream. But it's I think it's Friday night that we're doing it, because she only gets Fridays and Saturdays off, whereas I get whatever day off I'm given that week. Do you know, I've actually forgotten what symbol I'm doing. 3799. 8 sixes, right. So that's them done up there. So one of the that middle bit I did on the last diamond painting, as you know, when I'm on confetti bits, if they're like little dots of color, I'll always miss one or two out. And when I pick up a particular code or color, I try to sort of hit every one of the same color, and there'll always be one or two that I miss towards the end. And I was getting that an awful lot on the last one. But this one, it doesn't seem to be like one or two dots of one color. It seems to be blocks of them. We'll see when we get to the middle, won't we? But that's one thing that struck me, is it's swishes of color on the whole. So I hope I can get this done tonight. As you know, guys, I can just keep going, and you know, I'm not got a time limit. If I want to stream for 10 hours, I can. But I usually base it on well, I like to finish a square off. But obviously, if I'm feeling a bit tired, then I'll just go, look, sorry guys, I'm finishing. So I've got no problem saying that. But I do want to try and get this whole square done. And actually, I think, because I'm doing a much bigger square than I normally would, the middle bits I won't be doing as much of a square. It's just that I know with the corners, it's a lot less. Teresa, what is the opposite of confetti? I keep trying to think of a name for it, and I can't think what it is. Right. Oh, I've got. Right. So I do there. What you do? Modeling mats. Stephen Haynes says hi. Oh, hi, Stephen. How are you? I don't recall the name actually. So, but I'm always happy to have you on. Everyone is welcome. John Alex Scammon, I got mine from you printing, but the shipping is more than the printing product. Aren't you Australian, John Alec? So I believe that the problem we have in Australia, I've just put the wrong drill colour on there. I believe the products in Australia are a bit of a pain in the ass because of the shipping. You can get some really cheap products, but they're rather expensive because by the time they've been shipped out, I mean, we're starting to have that problem in Britain because it's to do with the cost of the shipping containers. 6, bear with me. I'm just going to focus on this bit for a second because I've just got the odd bits. Yeah, so it's not the products that are a problem. It's the shipping, and quite often you can have a product that say costs, for example, £5 in Britain, but in Australia that's going to be £15 or £20 because of the cost it's taken to get to Australia. And things aren't getting any cheaper, are they? Right, Mark Fit. Right, I'm going to shoot off as need a splash and dash. You had to get that expression in, didn't you? Well, I don't know if you're still watching, Mark, but as you know, I'm always happy to have you. Always glad to see you. I was trying to think. I can't get the words out today. Yeah, always glad to see you, mate. So, right, I've always classed it as blocks or confetti. Right, okay. So, yeah, all right, I'll call this blocks. So these corners tend to be blocks. Even this, like you can see the way it's going. It's coming like you've got a big block there coming down, and it's swooshing around there, and then you've got a bit going across there. Little bits of the blues there, but yeah, it's basically, yeah. Right, John, my people are from Arbroath. I'm an hour north of DC. Oh, is USA you in then? Hour north of DC, East Coast USA. So lovely area of the country, I think. Right, what shall we do next? Shall we do, let's do that middle bit, shall we? The K's 3860. Just looking forward to doing some colour as opposed to shades of black but get there. Right, so I'm going to need some cover paper, I think, for this, because I'm going into the top corner. What I often do is I pick a colour in the corner and I work in, and then I'll pick another corner and I try to sort of circle it. But I will often start off with which one looks like the most colour. Right, that's slipped across again. Sorry, bear with me a sec, guys. I'm going to take that off. What's happened is the border on this light pad is quite a fat border. It's a good border. But what it means is that if you push the diamond painting right up, I don't know if you can see there, the first line or two actually isn't on the light. So what you have to do is pull it down in a little bit. There we go, that's better. So I don't know if you saw the difference there, but now I can actually, and I can't really see the symbols too well if it's not got the light under it. And I've got a couple, that's better. When there's no light on the light pad, I actually cannot see the difference between N and K, which sounds weird, I know. But that's more to do with my eyesight than anything else. God, you think I'm terrible now because I can't see and I drive a coach. But these symbols are very small at the distance that I'm looking at. Do you know what? I'm going to try another bulldog clip on there. I keep catching the sticky, you see. And each time I catch the sticky with my hand, it just pulls it up a little bit. And that's why I'm getting that lifting. So, so once I got these in, these will really, it's just a case of getting momentum, really. And also the fact it's right up in the top corner, which is the hardest places for me to reach. Once we're working in the middle, say about there, that's probably about my sweet spot. So, but it's just that this is so big, it's hard to maneuver around. And also you can't clamp this down in the middle. You need at least two edges on the edge of the light pad to just bulldog clip it down with. So, and I apologize if the camera's shaking. I'm actually resting my neck on the boom arm, so as I'm talking it's probably shaking the camera. So it's not that I'm leaning on it, it's just that I'm so close that I'm coming down. So right, so I was going to tell you this story later on, which sort of sums up men and women, and I thought this was funny, and I can't tell it as well as the comedian. But I'll give it a go. So basically, what's happened is this comedian, he's coming back from a gig. He rings his girlfriend up and he says, I'll be at the airport at 11:30. Can you come and pick me up? So she says, yeah, no problems. So then she rings back again and she's like, oh, you're having an affair. I've checked the times. There's no flights coming in at 11. There's one coming in at 10:30. And there's another one coming in at 11:30. But there's no flights coming in at 11. And he goes, if I'm having an affair, what am I going to do in an airport for half an hour? He says, look, the reason I said 11:30 is you're always late. So I figured if I told you 11 o'clock when I'm actually coming in at 11:30, if you're half an hour late, you'll turn up just as I turn up at the airport. Right? Feasible, isn't it? So she's like, oh, well, I'll be on time this time. Sorry, right. Do you know what, guys? Look, it's a situation I'm in. I just need to go and run. No, I'm not. No, forget that. I'm drinking Coke tonight, aren't I? That was my coffee from about 3 or 4 hours ago. Right, so anyway. So if I tell you a story like Jethro, I'd have to say things like what it was. An awful lot, wouldn't I? What happened was... Actually, I got a really good Jethro joke I could tell you later on. Right, got the reading. I have got the reading glasses on. Well, it's got me varifocals on. Right, tell a story. Oh, I've got some good news for you. So I've been saving up. The glasses that I want, bit flashy, but they're for work. But it's about 300-400 quid. Now, payday money should be going in my account within the next 50 minutes because it's payday. That means I will have enough to order the glasses. Now I've got one of these healthcare plans at work where I can buy certain things, but I have to buy it and then claim the money back. So the drawback with that is you need the money. So I've been putting money in my savings account, a little bit each week. And as soon as I get paid, I've got enough to go down to the optician and order my glasses. So I'm happy. So I'm probably going to go. The plan is to nip down. I need a haircut. I am still doing K's, aren't I? Yeah, sorry. I just confused myself a little bit there. Oh, I thought I had a drill on there. Anyway, so yeah, this comedian. So his girlfriend says, "Oh, I'll turn up on time." He goes, "Oh, you're always late, but don't worry about it." He goes, "That's." So she goes, "Oh, well, I will turn up on time. Do you want to bet?" So he's like, "Well, I'm Irish. I brought up on gambling and drinking, so I ain't going to turn that one down." So he goes, "Yeah, all right, then I'll have a bet with you." So he goes, "Right, so what happens if you win then?" So she says, "Well, if I win," I'll put this in simplistic terms. If you don't understand what this means, again, I'm not going to explain. But if she says, if I win, you've got to make me happy for an hour. Right? I'm not going to explain that unless I absolutely have to. So he says, all right, then. So if I win, you've got to make me happy in the same way for an hour. So she says, oh, all right, then. So anyway, the day comes. It's 11:30. He gets off the plane. She's not there. So he gives her a ring. He says, "Oh, what's happened? You aren't here." Well, she's in tears. She says, "Oh," she goes, "I've had an accident." She goes, "The car's going to be off there. They can't fix it for 24 hours." And he's like, "Okay, well, that's not a problem." He goes, "I can get a taxi. It's only about a tenner." Oh, God, I hate you sometimes. Right, Smith Speed, did you finish the airport joke? Yeah, that's the one I'm on. Okay, you continued it. And then, can you explain it? Yeah, I can explain it. Basically, oral sex. So I just shut the door. So anyway, so he says, yeah, right, it's not a problem. He goes, it's only about a tenner from the airport. He says, oh, but hang on, one thing. You've lost the bet. So she said, no, I haven't. He goes, how have you not? Because you're late. She says, no, I'm not late. She says, I haven't turned up. So I'm not late. So he's like, well, you are late. You ain't turned up. And she says, well, look, it's like, if you imagine you're at school, right? you've got to be in school for Monday, right? If you turn up for school on Tuesday, they mark you as absent. Whereas if you turn up Monday afternoon, they'll mark you as late. So because I haven't turned up, I'm absent, not late. So he's like, but that's not, and he goes, and that don't work like that. He says, let me put it another way. He says, if you order an Amazon parcel or parcel from anyone, and they say it will be delivered on Monday, right, and it doesn't turn up till Tuesday, you don't say that Amazon parcel was absent, you say it was late. So anyway, so she's arguing with this late absent thing, and she says, well, if I never turn up to the airport, I can't ever be late. So he's going, what? So you're going to avoid going to this airport for the rest of your life? And she's like, well, yeah. He goes, well. So he kind of accepts it. And he's like, okay, so if you turn up for the airport, you are then late because you've turned up late. Anyway, he gets a phone call. He goes, oh, by the way, we've got holiday coming up, and that's the airport we're flying out of. Anyway, he gets a phone call about a week later. That's his girlfriend. Oh, by the way, you owe me £80. He says, what do I owe you £80 for? He goes, she goes, I've changed the flights on the holiday. We're now flying out of Manchester. So I'm like, he's like, right, so you've gone to those lengths just to prevent losing a bet. And but he says she still hasn't been to that airport. He goes, but there's one thing I want, because this is the one question she won't answer. He goes, what I want to know is, if, say, for example, we split up and you book a holiday with your new boyfriend and you go to that airport, do you still then lose the bet? So that made me laugh. But he actually did. He asked the crowd whether they thought he was right or whether he thought she was right. And when he said, who agrees with me, there was a definite masculine cheer. And when he says, who agrees with my girlfriend, there was a definite feminine cheer. But I've got to be honest with you, I'm kind of more siding with the guy, because she's late, isn't she? She didn't turn up at the allotted time. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. But whatever you think, I thought that was a funny story. Made me laugh anyway. I know I've gone quiet. God, that looks awful, you know, that really does. I know it'll all come out in the end. Right. Oral's X, what that? I don't get that comment, sorry. Bet he is hoping the plane on the way back, it gets rerouted to that. Oh yeah, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? We are sorry to regret that your plane, we are unable to land at Manchester. We will now be landing at such and such an airport. He didn't say which airport it was. I just made the assumption it was Birmingham, because I would imagine for you to change a flight to Manchester, it's probably a European flight, which means if you obviously weren't flying from Manchester in the first place, and the only other airports I can think of that do European destinations is Birmingham or Luton. And if you were flying originally from Luton, you would probably prefer Birmingham, because Birmingham is closer to Luton than Manchester. So, oh, unless it was Liverpool. Maybe Liverpool. Could have been Liverpool, because they do European destinations. The EasyJet flies out of there, don't they? It's probably Liverpool. So, Probably was actually, judging by his accent and the style of comedy that he was doing. So, right. Tell you what, it is actually going to be hours me doing this, isn't it? I think I've bitten off a bit more than I can chew here in one session. Still, nothing wrong with a bit of optimism, is there? You know how sometimes I kind of get a mojo going and I'm like, bang, 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 bang. I can't seem to get it going up here. But I'm looking forward to doing the other corner so that I can show you that ruler. Because I think it is. I bought that ruler and it didn't really fit the canvas that I was doing. I don't know if it's two sizes or something, or if it was just cheapy. And it just seems to fit. When I just tried it on this, it seems to fit perfectly. So maybe it's designed for proper canvases. And now that I've actually bought a proper diamond painting, it's fitting. So I forgot to mention the code, by the way. So don't forget, if you buy anything from Smith's Beads, use the code Penny15 and you'll get a 15% discount. I actually used it myself the other day and I got quite a decent saving from it. So, right, I cannot possibly comment on that as Teresa has not given me my option yet. And he would join the Mile High Club. Yeah. Tell you what, let's do check. Let's try and do checkerboard, shall we? It kind of gives me a bit of inspiration because it covers so much so quickly. And all of a sudden you feel like you've achieved a lot. It's if you're having a bit of a slow drill day, and it kind of drags you a bit, doesn't it? If you suddenly find a bit that you're like, whoa, I got through that really quickly, it kind of spurs you on a bit. So let's do a bit of checkerboard. That always gives me a little bit of mojo building. It kind of defines the shape a bit as well then, doesn't it? So, right, let me just pour some Coke. Right. Probably not. Well, it's actually the best thing. When I'm up all night, caffeinated drinks is probably the best thing, but I drink... I don't drink so much coffee anymore, actually. Since I've been doing those meal replacement shakes, I'm drinking less coffee. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but and again, I don't know if it's because I'm drinking less coffee or if I'm drinking more liquid, but or I'm eating better. But I'm feeling a lot better health-wise. And I think actually I used to have this problem every now and again, middle of the night, I would wake up with a massive leg cramp. And all I can do is just sit there and scream. It lasts, to be honest with you, it probably lasts for about 10 seconds. But obviously when you're in a lot of pain, it might as well be an hour, mightn't it? But it gets so bad, it actually feels like I've pulled a muscle or something for about 2 days. And I really don't know what the cause is. And I've asked people, and I was watching a little bit of that US Open the other day. And just had it on as background. And I was watching some British guy beat some French guy. I can't remember the names now. But some of the commentators said, because apparently it's really, really hot in New York at the moment, and he was saying it's really important for the the players to keep hydrated to prevent cramp. And I thought, oh, that's funny, because I get leg cramps and I've been drinking a lot more. No, I've not just been drinking a lot more, I've been drinking a lot less caffeine, and I've been feeling a lot better. So I wonder if it's dehydration, you know, that's causing my cramp. Something as simple as that. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert, but I've even spoken to a chemist, and I've said, look, do you have any idea what causes cramps in your leg? And they say, no, I ain't got a clue, unless they're being non-committal, because it's, you know, they're not really qualified to make a diagnosis that a doctor would make. But all right, let's get some more in there. That might just help me out a bit. I don't know what's going on. I've been so pumped up for this, and it's just not happening as much as I thought it would. Right, plain bathrooms are so small. How do they use it for Mile High Club? There's probably not a lot of room in there. Joshua says knock knock. Who's there? Oh, I got a joke for you. So this woman, right, she goes to the hairdressers, and she's chatting to the hairdresser, and he's quite a negative bloke, this hairdresser. And he says, oh, where you going? You know, what are you up to? So she goes, oh, I'm off to Rome. So he says, oh, Rome, bloody horrible place. Not very good there. She says, yeah, but I think the weather's going to be really nice. So he says, oh, no, the weather's going to be crap in Rome. And he says, oh, so, yeah. She goes, well, we're going to go to the Vatican City, and then hopefully I'll get to see the Pope. So he says, oh, no, you'll never get a chance to see the Pope. There's so many people there, you'll never get picked. So anyway, the conversation just goes on and on. Everything she says about it is really negative. Anyway, a few weeks pass. She's been on her holiday. She goes to her next haircut. And he says, oh, how was your holiday? She goes, Rome, such a fantastic place, really lovely. He goes, oh, really? Yeah. She goes, yeah, it's beautiful. And she said, on the weather. She goes, it was so lovely. It was just absolutely perfect. And he goes, oh, all right. He goes, yeah. And then we went to the Vatican City. And he went, oh, yeah, did you get to see the Pope? She goes, well, there was like millions of people in Vatican City, in the square. And we were really lucky. This guy comes up, and we were picked up random to see the Pope. He says, oh, really? He said, he goes, what did he say? So she goes, yeah, he took one look at me, and he went, who the fuck cut your hair? Sorry, big long pause there. Probably not my best joke, but I don't know. I'm judging you on the fact that I can't hear you laughing, that it might be a bad joke. Well, of course, even if it was the funniest joke in the world, I wouldn't hear you laughing, would I? So, ack. What's ack? So I'm sorry that there's not much to see in this corner, but that is the way of the corners, isn't it? You know, by the nature of all pictures, it's that's what corners look like. Most of the details in the middle. But one good thing is you get a feel for the quality of the drills. And you haven't heard me whinge once about the drills, have you? And there's a very good reason for that. Teresa, I have a question for you, if you wouldn't mind. If when you do your customs, do they come to you with the drills, or do you personally have to add the drills to them? And if I was to buy extra drills, let's say, for example, I had a packet of 25 934s and the dog ate them, for example, and I think, oh, I'm going to have to buy 25 packets of drills, but I've already put some of the drills on the design. Would they have come from the same place, or is it just a case of they might be a slight color difference? If you don't mind me asking that. I've got a bit of an obsession at the moment with getting all my drills from the same place, because if you get like a diamond painting and then you get some spare drills, there's a possibility they could be a different color. And I've thrown a lot of drills away today because the color that I had left over from previous diamond paintings doesn't match these ones from Smith's Beads. And I will trust Smith's Beads drills more, with the exception of one. There is one color where I get given 2 bags. That's all it needs. It's one of these, like, for example, this one 3031. There's only 2 bags, and the amount I had in the Tic Tac container already was probably about 4 bags. I'm not worried if the color isn't an exact match. What I'm concerned about is using the same number drill with 2 different colors on the same design, if that makes sense. Because if you do one big patch of 535 and some are a different color, then it's going to look funny, isn't it? So I'm just accidentally starting to fill some of these in. That's okay. Right, it's starting to get to the end of these Ks now. I can't think there's any this way. Oh yeah, there's this. So this is more like the background just behind the bus. There's the wing mirrors there, and then you'll have this big bit of K just sort of acting as a bit of a border around the bus. I can just tell this is going to look absolutely awesome when it's finished, but I'm just wondering how many hours I'm going to be putting in. But I think these bigger ones are, if you put a blah, 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 right. So when I do hobbies, I do a cost per hour. Right, let's have a look. Oh, yeah, achoo. Yeah, okay, I get it. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow today. Achoo, yeah. I cut my own hair, and now, what's that? It grow in order to fix it. What, waiting for it to grow? I've done that before. I have an issue with my fringe. I don't like my fringe in my eyes. And I had a situation once where my fringe was getting far too long, and I couldn't afford to go in for a haircut. So I thought, do you know what? Kitchen scissors, bathroom mirror, cut my own fringe. What could possibly go wrong? And let's just say I did manage to neaten it, but it wasn't the style I was after. I managed to get away with it because it was a fringe. I could just sort of rough the edges a little bit, and it looked a little bit more modern. But it wasn't the best haircut I've ever had. Right. Let's do something. Okay. Yes, they all came together as a kit. Right. Usually the same place, but can be slightly different color change due to different batches. That's fair enough. So it's really a case of if I buy drills, it's there's a possibility it probably will be the same color, but obviously I don't really know much about making drills, but I know, like for example, the process of making filaments for 3D printing, and you start off with this plastic it's clear, and it goes through this it's melted, and then all the colors are added, and they might add like so many grams of color per kilogram of plastic, and then that color might consist of I don't know, 0.7 grams of red and so many grams of this color, and combined it makes the color. And if you just add just 1/100th of a gram less of, say for example, red, you're going to get a different shade. And so there's so many things that could happen to alter the shade. And when you see some of these colors, there's only a tiny fraction of a color difference between that and the next color. So there's an awful lot that can go wrong. But obviously, if you make a batch of, say, I don't know, 100 million drills, that 100 million drills will obviously be the exact same color. But if you make another set, there could be a slight difference, but generally not too far out. I suppose it's a bit like cake making, isn't it? If you add so many grams of raisins to a raisin bun, one raisin bun might get 100 raisins, and another one might get 99, and another one might get 102. And from a bun point of view, they're the same, aren't they? But they're a slight difference. I probably over-explained that one, haven't I? Talking crap. But there you go. Your custom came from the same place that makes the drills, so that's as good as a match as you're ever going to get, isn't it? If you get the drills from one place and the customs from another, there's a much higher chance that there's going to be color differences. I've noticed, actually, I'm not like really experienced with diamond paintings, but there seems to be certain colors that will always be the same regardless of who you get them from. For example, 310s. I don't think I've ever found any color variance between different manufacturers. And then there seems to be other colors that will always be different based on the manufacturer. And the trouble is, it's like, which color is correct? If you've got, I suppose all you can really do is buy 5 different batches, for example, and then see which ones, if you've got 4 batches that are exactly the same, and then one batch which is a different color, you can kind of get an idea of what the actual color is. Because even if you compared these with DMC threads, because it's a different material, you're not going to get quite the same color, are you? You're not going to, because the finish is different. So this is why I'm really not concerned about if this, like this color that I'm using here, let's say, for example, it's not the correct color. It's not a problem because they're all the same color as each other. It's if I if I don't know, say I lost the rest of the drills through my own fault, and then I bought a big batch of drills, will I have to unpick all of these to get a color match? That's not too bad, actually. I'm getting there now. I'm getting a bit of a rhythm going. It's just the start of these. This is where I'm really unmotivated, because I'm like, oh my God. And you're kind of looking at how much you've got left to do compared with how much you've done. And I think you probably always have, no matter who you are, you know, if you're thinking about the finish while you're starting, it kind of puts a bit of a deadline in your head, doesn't it? And if you know, one of the fatal things that I do is I go, oh, well, I wonder if I can get this done in a month. And then the next thing you know, you're thinking, I need to get it done in a month. And I think that's where I go wrong anyway. It's not really about the destination, is it? It's all about the journey. Because as soon as I finish this, I'm going to have to put my hand in my pocket and get another one. Otherwise, I'll have nothing to do. So, just out of interest, guys, out of the 5 that are watching, are you happy with me doing things like transport related? One of the issues I've had with diamond painting in general is, and I know there's a lot of women actually think the same, I'm not into pink things and flowers and fairies and things like that. And I know everyone's individual, and if you know, if you're into flowers and fairies and Disney, there's a huge subject matter out there for you. You'll probably never ever run out of things to do on diamond painting, but that's just not for me. I mean, there's a lot of wolfy ones out there, but to be honest with you, even if I did nothing but wolves, it gets stale then, doesn't it? You know, doing the same thing, you know, a wolf, there's a wolf, there's a wolf, there's a wolf in the daytime, there's a wolf howling, there's a wolf with a cub. You know, it's all, if that's all you do, whereas I'm doing, well, there's lots of different subject matters I could do. I mean, I know we have a no football, politics or religion policy, but, you know, if I had a diamond painting of a Wycombe Wanderers player, you know, that's fine, isn't it? But, you know, you guys enjoying this, me doing buses and things like that, because I'm spending good money on this, so I need to do something that I enjoy. But if you guys aren't enjoying it, you're not going to watch it, are you? So tell you what I'd really like to do, I don't know if it's ever possible. We discovered there's a company was advertising mystery diamond paintings, and the way that the description was saying was that there was no color on the symbols, and you had no idea what it would look like until you've actually put the drills on. Now, you could probably get an idea, because if you look at the way the symbol, if you look at that, you can see that because of the way that letters are formed, M takes up more space than a J. You can get a rough idea of something's going on. The reason we didn't go for it in the end is because mystery could also mean we're going to send you a random diamond painting and you have no idea what you're getting. And the issue that I have with that is that when you get things like mystery boxes, it generally means we're going to chuck in a load of stuff that we're struggling to sell in the shop. So all the crap that nobody wants, that's what you're buying. And if that's what you're going to send me, I really want to be tempted. So selling that to me at full price, you know, here, pay full price, but you've got no idea if you'll actually like it or not. You know, if you said to me, I'll send it to you half price, but you don't know if you're going to like it, then I can go, oh, I think that's worth a punt. Right, so right. So since I started over 5 years ago, 647 was a light grey green. Now it's a dark grey green. Dark grey green. There you go, dark green grey. Okay, I didn't know they changed the colours. Those are always the same. 310-939-823. They're always the same. Right. So I guess that the way they make the colours, it's a simple formula, I guess. You know, what's 823 sounds to me like a blue. Yeah, there you go. So that's probably just blue pigment in there, isn't there? What's the other one? 939 is one of my favourite colours. That is usually comes with black. If you've got like an evening sky, that comes, and that to me is like, it's a nice black. It's not black, it's a blue, but it's like an interesting 310. Everyone hates 310, don't they? Because it's like colour with no power. Do you know what I mean? These, you see those, you can distinguish the individual drills, and you can tell which ones are upside down and which ones are the right way round. 310s, it just doesn't seem to happen like that. It's just really weird. It's got like a nothing. And I'm tempted to say that's because technically 310 black isn't actually a colour. You know, certain colours that aren't colours. White isn't a colour, black isn't a colour, grey isn't a colour. But I don't think it's to do with that. Right. We've been thinking of a magic eye diamond painting. Wow. I mean, I can't do magic eyes. They don't work for me. But I know plenty of people that are like, really? Seriously? You can't see it? But yeah, if that worked, I mean, how do magic eyes work? Do they have to be the right colour, or do they have to be, you know, the distance between this and that? Does that have to be set right? Would it actually work? I'll tell you what, you've heard it here first, guys. Smith's Beads Magic Eye Diamond Paintings. I just hope that magic eyes are still popular enough to work, because you know, people don't do magic eyes anymore, do they? I don't know if it's because people are frustrated because they can't see. I can't see what it is. Right, so Love Minis. What's the difference in size between A2 and A? That's $1, so I think that's an A4. Right, so let me give you a very rough guide. This is only very rough. Right, this is an A4 piece of paper. Now, A4 in the UK is pretty much standard. Most things that you buy will be A4. If you get a writing pad, it'll be A4. Now, I know in the US you don't use A4. Is it 11? Is it 11.5 by something? Is what in the UK, I think we call it letter. And I think letter is slightly narrower, slightly longer, something like that. But this is A4, and I can't remember what size A4 is, but the way it works, A4 to A5, you always fold it on its longer length to get the next size down all up. So that's gone from A4 to A5, and then A6, sorry, you always fold it along its shorter side. So that's now A6, and then that's A7, that's A8, and so on and so forth. Likewise, if you want to go from A4, so let me pull this camera up. So there we have A4. To make that to an A3, you double the size. And can you see that coincidentally, this is now taking up half of my light pad? Because that's A4, that's A3. My light pad, oh God. You bugger. Do you know what? I forgot about that. Ah! Oh, I got away with this. Oh, I got away with that one. I can't believe I've done that. So that's A4 is that size, A3, and then you double it again is A2. So you're adding, you're doubling the size every time. So I thought I was going to have to show you the baby wipe trick a little bit earlier than I wanted to, which, given that I don't actually have any baby wipes at the moment, is going to be tricky. So see why release paper is so important. Can you imagine how much worse that had been if I hadn't put that there as well? Right, so there we are. Right, so for those who struggle, think about when you are driving, you focus your eye in the car in front, you see a fly on the windscreen, you focus your eyes on the fly. Right. It's the same focus needed to see a magic eye. Right, okay. So is that then I can't see magic eyes because my eyes are focusing on what I think is more important? Because when I'm driving and there's a fly, I mean, with night driving, I get this a lot. You get the bugs hit the windscreen and then you have a big splatter. And I'm actually able to see through that splatter because when I'm down a twisty, windy road in the middle of the night and it's pissing it down with rain, it's far more important for me to look at the road. So I'm able, through practice, to see through it. Is that sort of principle? So because I can't see the fly, because I'm not looking for the fly, because I'm looking at the road, is that the same reason I can't see a magic eye? Penny, bet you cannot fold a piece of paper 8 times. You are correct. I believe it is an impossible thing. So yeah, yes, we have 8 by 5 by 11. So let's have a little look. So there's my piece of A4 paper, conveniently kept away from that. So 11 is, there we go. Let's get the pen out. And 8. Right, so your standard paper is slightly smaller. But you do that, don't you? Because your gallons are smaller than our gallons. Right, so there's my piece of A4 paper. And what I've done is I've drawn 8 by 11 on it. Right, it's only roughly 8 by 11. So, but I think your size is more for letter writing, isn't it? That's, for some reason, is a more convenient size for letter writing. But I'll show you something else as well. We do a thing called, I don't know if you have it, is a C4 envelope. And the way a C4 envelope works, if you fold that in 3, like that, that will fit into a C3, C5 envelope. And that's a convenient size for a letter. And it's also handy if you're enclosing a check. And what I'll do is I'll fold that one a little bit bigger. No, a little bit smaller. And we don't do checks anymore, by the way. Right, I can pop the check into there, and then that bit will then come down as well, and it just secures the check a bit more. So yeah, there you go. That's me messed up a very valuable piece of paper that cost me about 1/10 of a penny. Thought you were going to have to do a baby wipe demo. Yeah, so I will be doing a baby wipe demo. I won't purposely be doing it. I've got a little bit at the bottom which I've got the paper stuck, so I will be doing. If I don't do it before, I will do it when I get there. And you need to focus through the picture. So it's a little bit like people who have PTSD, where they have this 1,000-yard stare. Is that kind of what you're saying? I suppose it's the opposite of when I get tired. When I'm driving and I get really, really, really tired, and I can't focus, I get like double vision. So, and it's not a problem in the sense that if I'm looking at a truck, suddenly where I'm getting double vision, it now looks like I've got 2 trucks. That's not a problem. Where the problem is, when you see the lines on the road, because of the perspective, they're always going to meet in the distance, aren't they? So that's the road markings you see. When you see double vision, that comes across there, and then that comes across there, and you can't tell if you're going straight or you need to go on a corner, and that's why you drift one side or the other of the road. And then all of a sudden you get where you hit the lines, and that'll hopefully wake you up. But if you've got a truck in the next lane or a car overtaking you, and then you're following this line that way, that's why you hit cars. That's why driving tired is so dangerous. It's because it's the road lines. Now, I've noticed that myself. It's because if you look at anything, I don't know if you can really see on this, but you see that point there looks closer than that because it's all to do with point of perspective, right? But if that line there goes to there and this line there goes over there, now you've got this situation. Which line are you following? Right, so you have the drunk bumps too. Oh, okay, is that a similar thing to what we call them, sleeping policemen? And what it is if you drift off the road, it's, you know, you've got like little bumps in the road and it goes da 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 da. Clever little thing we have on our coach. It actually vibrates the seat. And it actually vibrates the seat on the side that you're drifting. So if you drift over to the left-hand side of the, so all down your left thigh, it goes, and then likewise on the right. And it's quite interesting. But our newer coaches, they also have a lane guidance system. And you really don't want to set that off because you actually get a verbal and it goes, warning, lane guidance, lane guidance, whatever, something it says anyway. Obviously, I don't get it much. Well, because passengers can hear that, can't they? So now they all think you're a bad driver. The other one I get sometimes, because when we change drivers, I'll have a little nap. And you know what it's like when you wake up, you'll have a couple of little yawns, won't you, to sort of get yourself going. Well, the coach can pick that up. And it actually says, warning, yawning detected. Please take a break as soon as possible. And it's quite funny. And there was another one I got. Oh, that's right, yeah. Apparently, if you hold your hand up to your face too much, it thinks you're having a cigarette and it tells you off for smoking. And it also has a camera that every time you get a warning, a photo is taken and it's sent to your boss. National Express is worse because the photo gets sent to National Express office, and then they analyse it, and if they think there's a problem, they have a go at the franchisee, and they can apparently lose the contract if they get too many photos sent to them. Because I have a friend on a National Express, and he has natural squinty eyes. So his eyes are quite close, you know, they look like he's squinting. And the National Express system picks that up. Because his eyes are a little bit closer together, they think that the system thinks he's fallen asleep. So he usually gets about 3 photos a night that's saying you're falling asleep. And he's like, no, I'm not. And National Express get these photos, and then they moan at his company. They go, your driver's fallen asleep. They're like, no, he's not. He's got natural squinty eyes. So yeah, this is what we have to put up with. We have so many Big Brother systems. This is where a good driving partner comes in. The way we do our trips is that I do my bit of driving, he does his bit of driving. Now, I actually like the 30s because there's an awful lot of driving for one person. You do the Glasgow to Manchester bit, and that's about 4 hours. So you're driving for 4 hours. Then you have a break, but the Manchester to Birmingham is only about 2 hours. So you get about a 2-hour break. And then you drive the rest of the way, which is about 3.5 hours. So you've got one driver who's done 7.5 hours driving, and the other one's done about 2. But then that's it. On the way back, the driver who's done 7.5 hours driving, he only does 2 hours driving coming back. Now I like that because I'm one of these drivers. I like to get most of my driving done in the first half. Now, if you consider, because we're going down and up, 2 days is the 2 halves, and it's not 4 halves. So because I always drive first, so I do the 7.5 hours driving going down, and then I do the 2 hours coming up. However, if at any time I should feel tired, I then say to my partner, oh, I'm struggling, can you take over? And then he'll do a bit of driving. And likewise, if he struggles coming back, then, you know, I'll have to do a bit more driving. And that's the way it is, you know, because, yeah, all right, if he gets tired coming back, you end up doing a bit more driving. But, you know, it's all horses for courses, and that one day you'll be tired and he'll take over. And I had a situation the other week where we were doing the 10s, and we change at Sheffield, and then I drive to Sunderland and then to Newcastle. And I was really struggling. And I said to him, can you do me a favour? I said, can we change over at Newcastle? It's only like half an hour earlier. I said, but then what I'll do is if I have a little bit of a shut my eyes, I'll then take over Edinburgh, and I'll do the Edinburgh to Glasgow leg. And he's like, yeah, okay, fair enough. He says, I'll do the Edinburgh to Glasgow as well if you want. But, you know, it's the responsible thing to do, isn't it? If you're carrying 50 passengers, you know, the implications. And we see a lot of lorry drivers on the road, and I don't see they're not so lucky. They don't get double manning like we do. But you often see the odd famous company that you'll know about if you watch all of my streams. I've often seen them driving down the middle line, and then all of a sudden you see them swerve into the lane, and you just look at them and you go, yep, someone's just woken up. And because that's one of the perils of night driving, when you're going to overtake, Because a lorry has a top speed of 56 miles an hour. We have a top speed of 62. So obviously we're overtaking a lot of lorries. And when you're about to overtake a lorry, you always have to have a look at his position on the road. If he's driving it well, he will be exactly down the middle of the line. If he's right on the edge of the line, you can, it wouldn't be unreasonable to assume he's fallen asleep. So you will overtake him a lot wider than you normally would. Although in all fairness, I find if you're getting dozy, you drift off to the left into the hard shoulder. Whereas you're actually sleepy, you drift off to the right. Don't know the science behind that, but that's kind of how it goes. I've done it myself. I've driven before a little bit too much, starting to sleep, and I found myself drifting to the right. But generally, if I'm getting tired, I drift to the left. And that's if I'm in my car, that's usually the point I'll pull over and say, right, I'm going to have a half-hour kip. And I've done it before where I've been so tired, I've driven for an hour, then slept for an hour, and then driven for an hour. And 4-hour journey takes you over 8 hours, but it's better to get there in 8 hours than to not get there at all, isn't it? So yeah. What we're doing for hangers on. I can't. 8 people watching me. You're all nuts, Absolute crazy fools. Unless you're all from a country that's in the past, like America, and it's probably like mid-afternoon for you, isn't it? Or early evening. So I should learn to do accents, shouldn't I? I can start a stream at 6 o'clock and have a UK accent. Then about 10 o'clock, I can switch to an American accent. And then about 4 hours later, we'll switch, I don't know, what would it be, a Russian accent? And then it sounds then that I'm streaming in the mid-afternoon or early evening from whatever country. Or is that an absolutely absurd idea? I'm actually looking forward to doing this bit. But I think this bit's coming in too early, because if you do the bit that you really, really want to do, and then you get that done early on, what then? But then again, once we get to about halfway, we've got all that green coming in. And if you have a look at some of the greens that I've got, I think you're going to go 2 ways with this. You're either going to say, oh, that's really beautiful, or you're going to go, oh my God, they're disgusting. I don't know many people who go, oh yeah, green, that's my favorite color. But there's all the greens. And there's a lot of them. Just because I've only got one Tic Tac container, if the Tic Tac container is full, you can probably bet there's another 5 or so. I'm going to count that as a green, actually. And then there's a little tiny one of that. So, and we've got, do we count that as a green? So, and I've just got all my Tic Tac containers all muddled up now. They're out of number sequence. But yeah, there's my greens. Teresa had said to me, oh, you got a lot of green in there. And I'm like, okay, I'm expecting that. And I didn't really see it so much when I had the bags. It wasn't until I started to kit it up that I'm like, oh yeah, there is quite a lot of green. But let me find the actual picture. So you can see there is a lot of green, but most of the green is on the bottom half. So we're working on that. So it's, if you had to pick an interesting and an uninteresting half, I'm probably doing the not so interesting bit first, and then that's going to be the second half. So But for one, I'm really glad I got the actual destination in, and got that in nice and clear. Because otherwise, I think that would have been quite a little bit naff on the first half, wouldn't it? So yeah. So if anyone is watching me for the first time ever, I am doing a custom of a picture that I took of one of the coaches that I drive, and we'll see how this goes. I think I'm going to be doing more of these. I've got quite a few bus pictures of bus routes that I've driven. I'm more interested in the route than the bus, but I've been doing agency bus driving. I started about 3 years ago, and it was like, yeah, I'm going to take pictures of the bus that I've driven. So I've got a couple of London buses. I've got a blue Dartford bus. Now I've got a green Flix bus. I don't think I've got, no, I've not got the Newport buses because I wasn't taking pictures back then. I wasn't agency. But I need to get a good picture. I've got some pictures of our new electric buses, but I haven't got any good pictures. Just have a little break and have a look. I haven't got anything amazing. I know there is somewhere. No, that's screenshots. Camera. There is somewhere. There somewhere. Where have they gone? How strange. Unless they're on Facebook. Ah, there we go. No. Oh, please don't tell me I've lost a load of pictures. Oh, that was a nice one. That was the first Flixbus picture I took. That was from when I worked at Whippets. I'm going to use that one. That might even be. I won't make it my next diamond, custom diamond. Oh, that was a number 11 that I took. The reason I took that is because the route master that I was doing was the number 11, and that's the modern number 11. Interestingly enough, it was parked outside Victoria Coach Station. But yeah, do you know what? It's worrying me now. I can't find that picture. Would be under WhatsApp, would it? Why? How have I've got 202 pictures. Right, there's all the London buses I took. Ah, here they are. Sorry, right. So that's me 26 at night, and I think it's a little bit fuzzy there. But these are the electric buses we use. So I might do that one, but there's an awful lot of black in there, isn't there? And whereas that one's a bit more daytime, and the street's actually quite tidy for a change. So what do you reckon? Should I do this one next? The 23 or the nighttime 26? See what you guys think. Oh, Mike sent me a picture. Oh. Is this one of the magic eye pictures you were talking about, Mike? Because it looks a strange picture. Oh. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm trying to do 1,000-yard stare. There's something coming in there. I can't read it, but there is. I'm sure that it looks like there's a word coming in. Have I got that right? Oh, yeah, sorry. I just, read that comment. The snow one. Right, I will see if I can find that snow one. I think everyone liked that, didn't they? I can't find it, though. Where has it gone? Did I post it on Facebook? Because if I did, that would be a good one. Facebook. Oh, there's a couple of Newport ones. Oh. Hello. You are aware I'm streaming, aren't you?
Sorry, it was a mistake.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Speak to you soon.
All right then. Take care. Bye. Right. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, this is the trouble because I've just. Oh, that one's a nice one. That is the Whippets Flixbus, and they've done all the Union Jack on the back for the Jubilee, but they parked outside London Eye. Bit show offy, isn't it? Unless that's been photoshopped. Right, I'm gonna look for that picture at some point. But I don't know where it is. It was, I'm sure it was in camera, but that was taken two phones ago. Yeah, I've got that one, but that's the bus. But yeah, when I took that picture in the snow, that was a really good picture. I must be on Facebook or something because I can remember taking the picture because the reason I took it is it was quite literally lovely. And then about 10 minutes later, it was like 4 inches of snow on the ground. And it just, I think I had like a 20-minute layover. And when I left my bus to go and have a cigarette, it was fine. And by the time I'd finished my cigarette, it's like, oh my God, look at all that snow. Right. Come on, get in there. I think that's all McKay's done. Right, that's McKay's done. Right, so this is taking a little bit longer than I was thinking. So I'm afraid I haven't done that much. But this is the trouble when you do giveaways and talk about stuff. So I'm going to leave it there for the night. But I'm going to finish that off tomorrow, I promise you. We'll crack straight on with it. So that means next week... Right, how do you want me to do this, guys? What would be a really good idea? The way I normally do diamond painting before now is I will cut squares of about that much. And then what I do is I do that square first. Then I do that square and that square. Then I do that one, that one, that one. And I kind of work in a corner, coming at an angle. And the idea that I've tried this time, which may not be a good idea, let me switch my camera. It does show my whole messy desk, but it does show this as well. So what I thought would be a better idea, because I noticed with this corner especially, pretty much half of I've got a square this big, and most of it is pretty much one color. So I thought, well, I'll do the corners, and then like these squares in the middle, they're cut a little bit smaller because that's where Trying to find the end of the thing. Right, so look, you see that I've cut this smaller, but even from that distance you can see I've probably got a lot more work to do there than I have on there. But I might cut these bigger bits down a little bit further. Now, would you like me to just work on it in the way that I would work on it, which I'll probably go, I'll probably come down there, then do that corner and then this side and then work down. And that's the halfway point there. So this is one big chunk there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Or would you like to have a bit of fun and we'll pick someone at random and they can choose the next square to do? Just thought, you know, maybe get a bit of audience involvement. And then whoever, how do we get to pick the person? Maybe everyone who comments for the first comment gets a number, and then I can get Alexa to pick a random number. Should we do it that way? So I would end up saying, for example, Echo, pick a random number between 1 and 9.
Here's a number between 1 and 9. It's 8.
There you go. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that. Be a bit of fun, won't it? Right, so 3.5 hours. Is that long enough for you, Mike? 3.5 hours? I know you always moan it's never long enough, is it? Because he'll give me something about, oh, it's such and such a time in some country in a minute. Right. I need to re-up drunk bumps. Right, our newer cars have safety systems that if you do drift out, it beeps. Oh, and it puts the car back to where it thinks the lane is. People driving through road construction, you have to fight this. Ah, yes. See, this is the problem we have. When you have this flashy computer system, it's all well and good, but then you get certain circumstances where it just doesn't work. We have a system where if it thinks you're about to hit something, it slams the brakes on. That's all well and good, but when you come out of Victoria Coach Station, you have a railing and a pillar box. And if a car is, you've got a taxi rank, if the taxi is parked slightly too far forward on the taxi rank, it triggers our braking system. And then you'll come flying back. Because the other night, my driving partner was driving and I was sorting a few things out on the dashboard. Because of what I do when we come out of Victoria, I'm on Google Maps and I'm looking for any roadworks, or is it quicker to get to Birmingham up the M1, or is it quicker to go up the M40? You know, if there's roadworks, it might be quicker to go a longer way. This is all the stuff I'm looking at. So, of course, I'm sitting and I'm sorting things out because I need to reach. I ain't got my seatbelt on. Next thing you know, I get beep, 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 and I get thrown forwards because this bloody braking system has been triggered by a parked car. So, you know, once these safety systems are brilliant. I've had someone pull out in front of me. You know the score on the motorway. You're going up the motorway and you get someone come overtaking you, and then they realise they're closer to the junction than they think, so they swing in front of you. That triggers the the emergency braking system, and you don't smash into the back of them, which in the grander scheme of things is a good thing. But yeah, so when it goes wrong, like I say, you've got this system. When you go through road constructions, you've got to fight the safety system. And Britain is well known for potholes. It's nasty. But I think our systems are based on the white line. One interesting thing is if you drift onto the line and it picks that line up, it's obviously going to set the alarm off. If you have your indicator on, it doesn't trigger it. So obviously, if you go to overtake a vehicle, you put your right indicator on, left if you're in America, obviously. You put your right indicator on, you're then going to cross the line. It doesn't trigger the alarm, which is obviously quite sensible, isn't it? Right, Smith Speed says the snow one. The second picture I sent is easier to see. Is that the... Oh, and bus picture sent. I'm going to find it and I'm going to show you all, because we do all agree that this is... Oh, that's really handy. Where are you? Yes, thank you so much. Right, I'm going to show you this because this is... I'm so glad I haven't lost it now. So these are the bus pictures when it snowed. That is literally 5 or 10 minutes worth of snow. Tell you what, let me show it on the bigger picture. I've got this flashy camera. Isn't that actually the rendered picture for... yeah, that looks like the picture you rendered for diamond painting. Because if you look, yeah, it is, look. Because it's dotty. So we were planning on doing that. And then there's the original picture. And they were horrible buses. They're the street lights. And let you see all the swooshes with the snow. But that was, yeah, they're horrible buses to drive. Totally suitable for that route. Believe it or not. But yeah. I think that should be the next one, Mike. What do you reckon? Do you remember what size we were going to make that? Do you think I could get away with that 50 by 50? I'm trying to get, that's why I can't get the camera right. It's because of the cameras that are on the hook. So what do you reckon, guys? I know it's going to be a long time before I get this custom finished, but what do you reckon to that as a custom? I love all the bits of snow everywhere. But yeah, that was literally, you know what? Yeah, and it's got the bus in the background. That's at Blue Water, that was. Blue Water Shopping Centre. Really don't like Blue Water Shopping Centre much. I hit a bus there. The bus shelters, you can see there's so much glass and you're so worried about hitting them. And I didn't see the bus in front because I was too busy looking at the glass. So, right, bus picture sent. Great stream and good night, Penny. Thank you very much. Just going to change camera angle. And Smith B says 5 hours and 30 minutes left. So that'll take me. You seriously talking about a 9-hour stream? So, do you know what? I think we should do a 24-hour stream one day, shouldn't we? What do you reckon? Trouble is, I think to do a 24-hour stream, I think there needs to be a purpose. Now, when I did it on Twitch, there were ways that people could donate money, and we raised £50-something for a friend's charity. It was all about some awareness of something in kids, and given that I was a non-established Twitch streamer, I think to raise 50 odd quid was pretty good. But I've not got enough subscribers and things to do 24 hours when you hit 1,000 subs. I wish, let's see if I have actually had a new subscriber since I've been streaming. No, not that good. But yeah, I think I need about 1,000 subscribers until I can start, you can donate money and stuff like super chat and stuff like that. So without that ability to raise money, I can see the purpose of doing a 24-hour stream, but I'd like to sort of make some good out of it. So, and then people can donate a penny if that's all they can afford. They can donate £100 if they want to, I don't know, maybe we could decide who to donate for. But yeah, I think we'll have to do that one day, because I think something like this would benefit. When I did a stream before, I was doing a painting stream, and I remember having this big clear desk to start the stream with, and then I ended up with about 200 pots of paint on, because that's how many pots of paint I'd been using. If I was doing diamond painting, what I've got on my desk now, that's all I will have, because it kind of works opposite from painting. You have all of your equipment, and then it kind of goes down as you use it. So I think we could do something with that. We could have a couple of competitions going. We could, get people to sort of donate. And I think we could do some good with it. So, right, guys. So I've been on for 3.5 hours, which is these days that's a small stream for me, isn't it? So I am due to stream again tomorrow. I have done tomorrow, haven't I? I should be streaming tomorrow. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick thingamybobby. So tomorrow I'm streaming. Next week's streams will be, next week is my last week of nights. However, I have now asked my boss to change my line. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I've had a couple of issues at work, and I want to change lines so that I will end up working with someone else. So if he's able to do that, and when he's able to do that, I don't know. But let's talk about what we're actually on now. So next week's schedule is, obviously I'm streaming tomorrow, which is Saturday night. I'm in work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I've got a nice week next week. I'm only working 4 days on the trot. So we will have a stream on Thursday night. And then I've got Saturday and Sunday night off. However, I'm then going on to days. So what I think I'll do on Saturday is I will do a couple of hours sleep, then I'll stream in the afternoon, and then that's me on days. It does mean that my wonderful people like David Bassett won't be able to watch the stream, because he will probably be watching Port Vale play at Wickham. But yeah, so it's slightly complicated next week in that I'll do 1 late stream and 2 daytime streams. But yeah. Right. So yes, I think, you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. When I hit the point where I can monetize and do super chats and things like that, I will do a 24-hour stream, and we'll pick a charity. We could even make the charity as a competition. We can pick a person in a lottery, and then they can decide where the money goes to. So one person might want Mind, who deal with mental health issues. Somebody else might will win, and they'll say, yeah, we want to donate the money to this hospital that deals with children that have bad toes or whatever. And maybe we can spread a little bit of good in the world. It's just a shame I can't do a regular stream, but that's how my job goes. But I think everyone will be a winner. You'll get a regular stream. I get my little. I say this nearly every week. I came home from work this morning. I was a bit stressed out. I had a couple of hours sleep. I did a little bit of diamond painting, and I've now done a show, and I feel exactly the same way as just before I started my last shift. So I'm ready for work now. I'm like, yes, let's go. I'm chilled out. I'm happy. Obviously, I'm not happy because I haven't finished that first square off yet, but that's going to be my target for tomorrow. So I'm going to waffle on no more. Thank you very much for watching as normal. Apologies for me smoking. My YouTube schedule has been a bit screwed up. I will tell you that now. I know some of you don't watch the other videos, and that's fine. I had to rush to get the Eddie Stobarts when they came. They came a little bit too late for me to get the videos done. So I had to rush the issue 44. But that was fine because the issue 44, it had no building. Now, issue 43 had a lot of mods to do, and I wanted to talk about the tachograph rules, which I think, on the whole, some of you did find interesting, which is a bit of a relief for me because I come up with these ideas, and if you guys think it's boring, you're going to go, whoa, you know. So that was nice. That gave me a bit of filler for that. I'm going to be filming issue 45 and 46 of the Eddie Stobart, which will come out next week after. Fire truck is, oh my God. So what happened with the fire truck was I was ordering the fire truck, and then it was taken about 2 to 3 weeks to be delivered. And it was like, right, I've just received the fire truck, which I paid for 3 weeks ago. And next week I'm paying for next month's. So I said to them, right, look, I've got lots of issues ahead anyway, because you get like 6 to 8 issues per pack. So I had a load filmed anyway, and I said I just got my car insurance quote, and it was extremely high, and I thought I was going to have no money. So I said to Agora, can I slip the payment for 1 month? And also I actually changed it for about 6 weeks, and the payment went through on the 13th of August. So theoretically, the next issue should have already been out before I'd even paid for it. And then about a week or two for delivery, I should have got that in time for the 29th of August, in time to make a video. Now, as I say, I paid for it on the 13th of August. It's now the 2nd of September. I still haven't received it. It's now been dispatched. And of course, they've dispatched it by Royal Mail, who are on strike. So I got a notification today that it's on its way. So I haven't put out a video this week because I didn't have an issue to put out. And I'll be absolutely honest with you guys, I don't think I'm going to have an issue out next week. Let's have a look. It's due out on the Monday. Right. Now, the other thing about Agora is I asked them to deliver it to my work address, and they haven't been sending it to my work address. They've been sending it to my home address. Now, I keep saying to them every month, please look at the details I've got on the screen. Don't send it to the shipping address, not to the billing address. Now, if they have finally now pulled their finger out and they're now shipping it to the shipping address, it means it will go to work, and I'm not back at work till Sunday, and I will not be able to film that until Thursday and the next video. So I'm going to say there's probably going to be no video released on the 5th of September. If it comes tomorrow to my home address, if they've actually done the shipping wrong and it comes tomorrow, I will be able to get a video out on Monday. But let's say there's probably not going to be a video until next Monday. Now, that means that there'll be a video probably on the 12th of September. And then on the 13th of September, I order the next pack. But they say the next pack will be out on time. But the pack I'm about to receive, I'm confusing myself here now. The pack I'm about to receive has 6 stages in it. So I am going to do 1 stage, 1 video, because I'd rather be producing videos 1 month after it comes out and have the content every week, than to be sitting there worrying, oh, is it coming out? Is it coming out? So that is the state of play with a fire truck. The Eddie Stobart, again, that's due out I think that's due out next week. Let me have a look. I might actually hang on. Right, Eddie Stobart is due on the week beginning the 12th. Right, now I think Eddie Stobart will be okay next month, because when Eddie Stobart is due, I'll have the video. I've already got the video for the 14th of September, and I'm off 16th, 17th, 18th. It generally arrives on the Friday or the Saturday, which means I can get the video done over the weekend in time for the 21st release. But it might be an idea for me to miss a week on that, and then that way it will come out a week and a half before I've got no video. So give me a week and a half to make a video, because sometimes when I work, I'll work 6 days straight, and I cannot film when I'm doing 6 days straight, because the way that when I'm working that consecutive runs, I go to work, I drive all the way down to London, I stay in the hotel in London, so I can't film in the hotel. I then drive back. If I'm then working the next day, I am straight into bed, get up, go to work, so no filming. So I can't work for any day that I'm working, I can't film. So I might just slip that one back. I'm really struggling to get the F14 in the Mosquito done. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't made the video yet for, what is now tonight. Yeah, I haven't made. So I will be filming that tonight. And I've got next week's Mosquito video to do. And I've missed two F14 videos. I've been really struggling with the filming. So there's a big temptation to say, look, just put the F14 on the back burner, focus on the Mosquito, and then do the simpler models. But I don't want to quit on it. So I think the plan is to do smaller sections, or just muddle along. I've got a holiday coming up in October. I've asked for some holiday for this week, actually, next week. I've put some proposals in for holidays, so I might have loads of holiday coming up, and then just slow everything down a little bit. I've not been able to keep up with the modeling on a budget and the model cheating, so I've just conveniently just not done anything on that. And I think cutting down to 3 pre-recorded videos a week and my lives when I'm off, I think that's probably going to work for me. Obviously when I was working and coming home every day, I could probably put out 4, 5, 6 videos a week, but in hindsight, it's not working that way with Flixbus. So I'm happy you're doing Flixbus, but obviously if you do more work, you've got less personal life, and if you do have more personal life, you have less. Do you know what I mean? There's some other projects that I'm planning, but the way that I'm planning them is it's better for me to buy the entire kit than it is to buy it on a weekly basis. And unfortunately, the big kits are expensive. And I'm struggling with the idea. It's a couple of nice Lego kits I've seen. But the trouble with the Lego kits is you get like a £200-300 Lego set. You're talking, what, five or six videos. So it's effectively like 50 quid a video, 50 quid a week to do that, to keep Lego content coming. If I reduce the size of the videos, then it's just not going to be watchable. you know, 3 stages on Lego. So I might do a few one-offs, but it's a couple of little things in the pipeline, but it all needs to be stuff that isn't too time consuming. So yeah, the biggest problem at the moment is the scale models, which is my thing that I really want to do. I'd really am enjoying the scale models, but it's I think because of the F14, it wasn't planned properly. It wasn't that I've done it wrong, it's that I've lost the experience in doing scale models. The Mosquito's coming out better because I've learned from the F14, and future scale models will turn out better because I'm learning things. But right, so Love Mini says, don't worry so much about when and what you do, a video, quality over quantity. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. Most people appreciate that with the part works. I mean, I've got 2 part works and 1 scale model. The part works, if I ain't got the part works, I can't do them. I think everybody appreciates that. There isn't really a time limit with the fire. See, the fire truck, there's not many people doing the fire truck, and that is pretty much up to date. Any problems that I'm having with the fire truck, everyone else is getting as well. So my fire trucks are pretty much up to date. The Eddie Stobart, the way that they've done it at the news agents and the way they're doing it with subscribers is they're already up to 4 weeks behind on I'm already up to 4 weeks behind on the Eddie Stobart. Because like this week, day before yesterday, I released issue 44. Well, issue 49 was in the shops. So I'm 5 weeks behind the news agents. The day that I released the Eddie Stobart, 5 issues, the 5th issue has just been released. And that's as good as I can get it, because I won't receive issue 47 until the same week that I'm releasing issue 46. Now, I could combat that by getting it from the news agents, which will give me up to date. But when do I go down the shop to collect it? If I'm in London on a Wednesday, I can't go and pick it up from the news agents. Secondly, when do I film it? And B, what happens if the news agents don't get the issue in? At least with subscriptions, I'm guaranteed to get it. So I think I'm better off keeping doing the Eddie Stobart. And to be honest with you, it's only a struggle with the Eddie Stobart every 4 weeks. It's getting that first issue of the pack out. But yeah, the F14 I will pick up on, but I might end up doing less to it each week. I'll just do a small bit. And the one thing I'm worried about is, I mean, it's almost painted up. It really isn't that much to do to get it to decal stage. How many videos of decals will take, I don't know, because there are thousands of them. So it might well be 3 videos to do the decals. I might do the top in one video and then do the underneath in the next video and then do all the rest in the last video. Then we've got to varnish it again, and we've got to do the weathering. And I just noticed a big cock up I've made. Canopy. I masked all the canopy up, and then I took the masking tape off. And then when it comes to me doing the varnishing, I'm going to have to remask it again. So that's going to be a nightmare. So I might even have ruined this. Never mind. Anyway, right, guys, I am waffling on way too much. So again, thank you for watching. I am going to be streaming again tomorrow. The title of this one is No McDonald's for You. The title of the next one, I think, is now obsolete. How can I get a list of my upcoming videos? Let me have a look. because I know they're in the Facebook group, aren't they? Let me have a look. I can't remember the title of it. Is it really important though? Congratulations. Oh, bless Smith, you're wonderful. You are wonderful. Right. So that's this video. Oh, just note someone doing Pirates of the Caribbean. Do they have events or something? Events? No. Right, okay. So, yeah. So my next video is to... Oh, hang on. I could look on the YouTube studio. I might have to change the title, actually. That's what I was thinking of. Live. Yes, I am going to change the title then. It's called Let's Start a New DP. Well, I've started a new DP tonight, haven't I? So, yeah. Right, guys. So I'm definitely going. So what I'm going to do is play... Oh, I've got the outro. Right. So thank you for watching, guys. And I hope to catch you tomorrow, 10 o'clock, same place. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.